Uptown Girl. I didn't even know no Billy Joel songs till today, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. I learned some today. We gonna play some Billy Joel. I got y'all, man. Friday night on the fan. You already know. Just got back from the stadium. Mad fun. I wish I could have stayed. Honestly, wish I could have stayed. Couple minutes, we'll get on the radio and we'll get the callers in. Yeah, bro. I don't even care about this bobblehead. I'll take this shit out for real. Oh, look at Billy Joel. Somebody said this the Elton John bobblehead. Hey, he rocking. We were rocking for Billy Joel tonight. Shout out to him. Got everybody in the stadium early for the Billy Joel bobble. I'm gonna look up some Billy Joel music. I've been listening to the Clips album nonstop. I've been listening to too much Clips. Got the Met game on. We ain't even going. I don't even. My bad. I ain't shouldn't even have said it. Ronnie Mauricio out here. Who in the chat? You think DJ made it that awkward for everyone in the clubhouse? That's kind of crazy, bro. No, but I think, and I've talked about this, shake the room, change the clubhouse, change everything. Because what it does is like, for example, like I don't really even watch these shows, but like Survivor or Big Brother or something, when somebody gets voted off, nobody's safe. And even the guys that are safe, they start to move differently. Like, yo, I gotta raise my game up. Yeah, we back. We all the way back. Yeah, Billy Joel. Shout out to him, yo. That was good luck. It's going good, man. I'm not gonna lie though. I'm a little depressed because like the streets in the Bronx, New York are going crazy right now. Like that's a right now, that's a peak all-time summer night that you want to be partying at the stadium. I did learn some Billy Joel today. We'll play some on my show. Let me see right now. I'm trying to see because Uptown Girl, I think Drake had a remix to Uptown Girl. I know him and Bun B had the song Uptown. Let me see. Billy Joel, Drake, Uptown. I'm gonna find one to play. Nah, this ain't it. Nah, this ain't it. I'm on YouTube trying to find something right now. Billy Joel, Drake. Nah, maybe it doesn't exist. No DJs have put that together. What other hip hop songs sample Billy Joel? Okay, Piano Man is Billy Joel. Okay, Piano Man. I know Piano Man, but not really, bro. I'm not gonna fake it. Like Mom Dukes wasn't playing Billy Joel in the crib. My aunt was never playing Billy Joel. My older brother, nah. We weren't young. It wasn't that type of time at the crib. Marcus, what up? Sing us a song, the piano man. Uptown Girl. Oh. Nah, that's facts. That's facts. Say that. That's facts. Met a bunch of people at the stadium, bro. That's the best part. Going to the stadium and meeting people that are like, yo, love your show, bro. Keep doing your thing. I'm like, I'll be on later. Oh, that's Billy Joel, too. We didn't start the fire. I know that. This is not for my breath. I already brushed my teeth. This is throat spray. Beeswax type throat spray, because the mic tells the truth. They can hear all the way in. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Let me see here. And y'all know I hit the yada I mean when I can. I hit the yada I mean when I can. Albuterol. So when I used to play football, I got diagnosed with sports athletic induced asthma. And then they gave me the script, and I've been using it ever since. I got the albuterol, which you hit this, it opens up your diaphragm, your lungs, and then I can go on a long rant about how the Yankees are back. The Yankees are back. Like, if you ever listen to people on the radio that don't have the cardio, they don't have the breathing, they'll try to finish their sentences and they'll be like, you'll never hear me do that. Because I'm ready, boy. Born ready. Stay ready so you don't got to get ready. I'm ready. I'm waiting for my show to start. I'm in here chilling with y'all. How about Carlos Rodon going to the All-Star game? What a performance. How about Cody Bellinger against his former team? What the bell? What the belly? I'm done gambling, but I'm like, I know this guy is going to homer. I know this guy is going to homer tonight. But 3 homers, almost 4. Like, if you would have bet him to homer, if you would have put $100 on him to homer 3 times, that's probably 3,000. From what I heard, he is. He looked like a Yankee fan to me. If he was a Met fan, he wouldn't let them put a jersey on him like that. Bro, I wasn't sitting there. Mitchell and Fort Lee, those are his seats. I'm going to shout him out. Mitchell and Fort Lee, hold on. So not the kid, that kid almost touched the ball, but the dude next to him in the blue T-shirt, that's Mitchell and Fort Lee. All right. For whom the bell tolls, that's AC/DC. Amber, what's cracking? Every day and tomorrow. Nah, no disrespect to the legend either. I think he had a stroke, right? No, Billy Joel canceled his Yankee Stadium concert and all other concerts through 2026 due to a recent diagnosis of normal pressure hydrocephalus, hydrocephalus, a brain disorder. That sucks. I don't even want to talk about that. Hopefully he's good. Play My Life by Billy Joel. Is it a Yankee song? Yeah, I'm going back tomorrow. Yo, and I'm tweaking. I had a little bit of the chest showing. I button my shit all the way up. I don't got to button it all the way up. Just not too much. No further than this. This is a children's program. Oh, New York State. I'm in a New York state of mind. Bro, the more you know. The more you know, bro. How am I supposed to know that? I've heard these songs, but I don't know them. Hey, yo, time out. Chill. Perfect timing.
Yo.
What's up? I mean, Belly just padded his stats to get in the All-Star game, but the All-Star game is about to be done. Oh yeah, I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to like 400 people. I'm talking to. Don't mind me.
God, you can do it on here anyway. Those things are WD-40. These things.
I hear the chair squeaking in here. I hear these squeaking on air.
There's nothing I can do. You're talking on the air. Like, what? I gotta move the mic. You gotta go to the bathroom. On your script first. Drag it down.
Yo, Cal Raleigh homer twice tonight.
Drag it into that. I don't care that it's there. Do it again. That's all that. Now it's in front of you.
Really?
Now, as long as you're good with the size.
Then I'm done.
You can make it bigger.
I was only there for Rodon's 8th inning for the end. I move around. I don't ever sit in one. I'm in the bleachers. I'm in the terrace. I didn't even go to my WFAN seats today. I use the WFAN seats to enter with the gang, so I don't have to go to the media spot. And then I don't have a seat. I'm in 100 seats. Every season I've sat in 100 seats. Appreciate it, bro. I try to tell him, bro. I got hella Yankee fits. Nobody has this jersey, bro. And I used to have it signed by Bernie, but I put it in the wash a bunch of times. Check the foot. Obviously Jordans, but Jordan 3s and the pinstripe socks. So appreciate it, bro. It's Friday night at the stadium. You got to pull up looking a certain type of way. Y'all know all the Billy Joel songs. I'm learning these songs today. 3 different songs that I didn't know Billy Joel sang. I learned today.
Who tried to fix the pipe from chewing gum at home? Call Roto-Rooter. Our phone only calls the bullpen. Bring in the closer. Time to shut down that leak.
That was so much fun. I left before it ended too. I literally got in the car and heard Belly's 3rd homer. All right, we got to queue up New York State of Mind, Uptown Girl, and We Didn't Start the Fire because Billy Joel, his bobblehead had that place packed tonight, and I didn't realize he had a health issue. He's New York State of Mind by Billy Joel. We Didn't Start the Fire and Uptown Girl. Just so we can kind of honor him. I learned a lot about Billy Joel tonight. I didn't know anything. You guys like Billy Joel? Yeah.
I'm just laughing because it's funny to me. They have no idea who that is. You don't have to know his stuff, but you've never heard of him. He's at the longest running thing at the Garden for.
Nobody ever put me in there to see him.
No, I get it. You don't have to know his stuff. I'm just surprised you don't know the name.
No, now I've connected the dots. I'm like, he sang all those songs.
Guy's been around for like 60 years.
It shows you what plane I'm living on.
No, there's gonna be stuff you say, and I'm gonna be like, "Who? What?"
There's other people that are like, "Yo, wait, you didn't know that was Billy Joel?" I'm like, "Nah, dude. I did get the bobble though. Count it." And I didn't wait in line for it. All right, here we go, chat.
It's summer's biggest party, highlighted by Monmouth Park's biggest race. Dress to impress for Naira Betts Haskell Day, Saturday, July 19th. To the Jersey Shore's biggest event, it's just $15.
You're gonna give me ID until the flash music, and then you just go. So you'll hear the ID, which is about 10 seconds, and then that flash, whatever that. This is the ID.
WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and the sports station.
Good evening. At 11 o'clock, I'm Jennifer Williams. Ahead of the Yankees kicking off a 3-game set against the Cubs in the Bronx, Carlos Rodon was added to the American League All-Star squad, replacing teammate Max Fried, who's getting the start on Saturday. This is the third All-Star nod for Rodon in the last 5 years. The lefty rode the momentum as he got the start for Game 1, lasting 8 dominant innings for the 5th time in his career while striking out 8. The Yankees' offense did the rest.
It's one deep to right center. Back out the wall is Tucker. Did he get it? Oh, no. Did you get it? Who got it? No.
Cody Bellinger helping to make a statement against his former club as the Bronx Bombers crushed the Cubs 11-0. In 20 starts, Rodon has 10 wins, tied for second most in the AL. After a rain delay in Kansas City, the Mets lead the Royals 1-0 in the 6th after Pete Alonso was walked with the bases loaded by former Yankee Michael Wacha. The Mets have Kodai Senga back on the mound, who has allowed 4 hits, walked 2, and struck out 4 through 4 innings of work. And then one final note, Jesse Winker was placed on the 10-day injured list with lower back inflammation, and the club plans to treat him with medication for the next 4 to 7 days. Manager Carlos Mendoza said no injections for now, and this is not related to the previous oblique strain. I'm Jennifer Williams.
The scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the RCI iHeart and TuneIn apps. It's AM to AM on WFAN.
Yeah, this is too much fun. Step into the Yankee multiverse. I don't know what realm or universe the Yankees decided to tap into this week, but I like it. Freshly back from the stadium, immaculate vibes. Man, shout out to Billy Joel. If anybody hears this that knows who or what or anything about, the whereabouts of Billy Joel, tell him I said thank you, and I hope he's well. I didn't know enough about Billy Joel. I learned a ton today. And what I'll say is that Billy Joel bobblehead, I got it with me right here on the live stream. One of the best bobbleheads ever. And that packed the place. And it just set the vibe for Friday night in the boogie down Bronx. And the Yankees followed suit. I mean, they had every reason to just chill and live off of last night and the sweep and the comeback and say, it's a new series. We lose the game. No, we play today. We win today. That's it. They're getting back to the vibes. They're restoring the feeling. Pinstripe pride. A summer night. We're in the peak summer right now. I'm telling you, I didn't want to leave. I left after they took Rodon out. And I heard Belly's what would have been 4th homer. And I'm like, man, they're about to have an epic party on River Ave tonight. We needed this. We know they can play like this. We know they have multiple hitters that can hit like this. But let's talk. Before we get to the guy that's going to be big shot of the night, let's talk about Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon with his beard, he's a different man. And he's an all-star again. So we get the news that Carlos Rodon has been added to the all-star team to replace Max Fried, who will be on the mound tomorrow. Yeah, I got to go to the game tomorrow too. That Eric Emanuel t-shirt, like the hype beasts are going to be out. Get there early. But anyway, Rodon. Let's give Rodon his flowers. Let's give Rodon his respect, his praise as he's evolved and become a Yankee. That was the best I've ever seen him. That was his best outing. 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 8 Ks. And you know what I was saying in the beginning of the game? I don't know. I guess I had this feeling of, they've lost so much in the last month. They could stand to lose a game. If they lose tonight, not a big deal. If Rodon doesn't have it tonight, whatever. Like, no. Rodon turned back into the South Sider, Chicago White Sox Rodon. There's a little bit of a rivalry out there, Crosstown Cup in Chicago. And there was a lot of people from Chicago in the building. Illinois was in the house. I talked to a lot of fans, a lot of people on the streets and in the stadium, people that were actually from the suburbs of Illinois, some people from the north side, Wrigleyville, and they got smacked tonight. 11-0 shutout. And you know what I loved? Carlos Rodon saying, I'm not leaving. I'm not done. I got one more in me. Yes. That's the bulldog. That's the fight we want to see. It wasn't that long ago that I was talking about Carlos Rodon. We need you. Don't tap out of a game at 88 pitches. If you're gassed, just, hey, give us a little more. And he did tonight. 888-808-1019. Carlos Rodon, I appreciate you. I see you. I am ecstatic that you are an all-star as a Yankee. Talk about getting a return on investment. Talking about a guy that it just took a little bit of time, but he really stepped into his own tonight. And there's another guy that we'll start with that didn't necessarily have his best game at the plate, but so what? He's your American League MVP favorite. Cal Raleigh leaves Yankee Stadium. He homers twice tonight, but whatever. Aaron Judge in that series showed the world, hey, I'm the MVP. You guys might get a little bit of voters fatigue like they get in other leagues when they made Embiid the MVP over Jokic, or not for nothing, Josh Allen being the MVP over Lamar Jackson. Like, it happens. People just get tired of the same guy winning, but the same guy doesn't get tired of winning. And what I love about Aaron Judge is he leads by example. He leads with his preparation. He leads with how he speaks in the media. He leads with his bat, but he also can show you that he's back in his rightful position in right field in front of the judges' chambers. It makes sense now, right, why they put those judges' chambers up. Oh, man, it was a party in right field tonight. Judge does it with the glove. I heard PB, radio and TV, say that he had a hat trick of plays out there. If you look at my Instagram or my Twitter or my TikTok or whatever, I posted a video. Shout out to Mitchell in Fort Lee. That first one that Judge just kind of jumped up to rob, there was a young man that reached his hand out with a pinstripe jersey. The guy next to him in the navy blue shirt, that was Mitchell in Fort Lee, who you probably, heard call the fan, and you probably heard me talk about him or Sal talk about him. His seats were right there. And the video that I got at the end of the game, I was sitting with Mitchell in Fort Lee. Perfect timing. That ball goes up, and Judge comes into the frame like the Superman bobblehead, saves the day, catches that ball. And I'm just like, the vibes were immaculate. What the bell? What the belly? Saved by the bell. I'm done gambling. I deleted the app, but I hope some of you guys that put money and sprinkle a little coin on the game bet on Cody Bellinger against his former team. It was a lock. You knew he was going yard because with his 15-game hitting streak, which I believe is now 16, he just kept knocking the ball through the infield. Singles, knocks, hitting the ball hard. His 2-strike approach, professional hitter. With all of that, he was due to start elevating the ball. With that left-handed swing that is built for Yankee Stadium, he was due to use the short. He should have had 4 homers tonight. A hat trick for Cody Bellinger and a curtain call. Bellinger, Bellinger, Bellinger. his first curtain call, and another 3-homer game for the Yankees. And I'm telling you, it's just got the place rocking. X gonna give it to you. We gonna give it to you. This is how we do. Like, Yankee Stadium was a full-on party from the 3rd inning on. I'm glad I went tonight. I was kind of sitting out this week and, coming here and doing the show. But I'm like, I'm going tonight and I'm going tomorrow. And shout out to everybody that we saw in there. Things are going right for the Yankees when they're winning challenges and reviews. Things are going right for the Yankees when, like, Peraza is getting on base. Peraza had 2 hits. Volpe is driving in a run. JC Escar is behind the dish, who, credit to Escar, as much, credit as we give Rodon. Escar has caught Rodon a few times this year, and they've been very good together. And shout out to Escar for stepping in there after the night our boy Wellesley had last night. Escar kind of spelling him and doing the thing at the plate, but really behind the dish. Goldie, I see ya. Goldie knocks. 3 hits. Old man's got some wheels. 2 ribbies. Jazz gets some. And Jazz can play the hell out of second base. What the hell are we doing? Taking him off second base. I see this kid play second base, and I'm like, leave him there. Leave him there. I see Bellinger, and everybody wants to talk about what changed. What a difference a week makes, man. What changed? Bellinger's double play in Flushing. Since then, it's like no turning back, no looking back. The Yankees are back. 888-808-1019. I had such a good time at the stadium. I can't wait to talk to you guys tonight. I got people watching on the live. We got an eye on Kansas City. We got an eye on Kauffman Stadium as it's 1-1. The Royals just tied it up with the Mets in the bottom of the 6th. But yeah, if you're a Yankee fan that's like me and like a lot of people listening, that your mood is affected by how the Yankees do, your day is affected by how the Yankees play. You wait all day for first pitch when the Yankees are losing 5 games in a row like last week. You just can't even shake it. I mean, that is baseball, Susan. Like, you can't predict baseball. You have a week like we had last week. You come home and you have this week. Change your clubhouse, change everything. The Yankees shake the room. DJ LeMahieu, I hope you are able to watch this team and enjoy the success that they're having immediately, even though you're not directly there involved with it. Like, just understand that, this team right now has clicked and hit another gear, and a lot of things are happening. 10 runs, 9 runs, a comeback from being no hit to today. Rodon absolutely rolling them, and everybody getting some at the plate, and highlight after highlight in the field. It's a good time to be a Yankee fan. It's always a good time. We're harder on them because this is what we expect of them, and they're doing it going into the All-Star break, and we know coming up is the trade deadline. So let's talk about everything, man. Tell me what you saw. If you were at the stadium, call me up. If you were at home watching and you had a different perspective than us at the stadium, call me up. If you're just a Yankee fan that's not ready to go to sleep tonight because you want to live in this, call me up. I'm on till 2 a.m. I'm taking calls, talking to all the fans. We'll get to the Mets game when the Mets game ends, but I don't know. Something has happened. I don't know. I believe there's cosmic energy and Mother Nature and the baseball gods. Like, the rain has affected the Mets games, where, like, a couple nights ago, there was no Mets game. We had the Yankees straight up. Yesterday, they got swept in the doubleheader. So it was like, hey, let's just talk Yanks. And their game didn't even start till 9:30 today. So the Yankees have had the floor, and they have been excelling and making us all smile. So let's enjoy it. Let's talk about it. 888-808-1019. We're going to play some Billy Joel tonight. We'll play some beats. We'll take some calls, and we'll pass the time. This is Keith McPherson, your nighttime host on The Fan, freshly back from the boogie down Bronx, not partying on the streets of River Ave, partying with you here on WFA until 2 a.m. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back.
You're juggling work, life, and receivers who can't catch a call. Get it. And we got you.
All right, so I got to switch the mic when the callers come in, but here we go. Up, and away we go. Next break, we'll do the big shot of the night. I think we're going to pour up double shots, one for Belly, one for Rodon. And fill me in. What else happened in sports today? I said, Cal Raleigh homer twice. What else did I miss while I was at the stadium? What else happened in sports that we might need to speak on? Yeah, they want to make Cal Raleigh the MVP so bad. I'm not going for it. Chat it up. Let's see where we were at before I started. Going back to like freshly after 11. Let's see here. Yeah, we're talking about my my kidney issues. I'm like, it's too late for me. I've been puffing that albuterol for 15 years. It's too late for me. The homies wasn't playing Billy Joel back in the day, bro. That's what I said. Someone was like, what are they going for in the stadium? People were selling them for $80. You got 4 $20 bills sold. Just under 100. Oh wow. Yeah, I don't know anything about Billy Joel, bro. Appreciate it. this radio station is like really like I have almost 600 people watching the live stream, but this radio station is reaching easily 6,000 people in the New York area in their cars. More if you consider the Odyssey app reach. Beer here, yo, send one, bro. I got the water out here. I'm beat. It was hot out there. And I'm gonna go straight home and I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna come right back. Let me see. Yeah, so just in YouTube history. All right, we're getting the Billy Joel queued up. Hey. Bro, what? They just named Jacob Mizorowski an all-star. He's got 5 career starts. Insane, bro. The Boys. I only made it through the first like 2 episodes. Is Billy Joel in that? It's like they're superheroes, right? Yeah. He's like, it's just funny, man. There's a whole other world. Like, I forget who had the skit. It was like, white people do this, black people do that. It was on the Chappelle show. It's like there's a whole world that like black people do not know with Billy Joel. Okay, here we go. Switching audio. The Bronx is burning. We definitely started a fire up there tonight. It was insane. I think last night I predicted there'd be upwards to 44, 45,000 in attendance. 46,327, a sellout. And just highlight reel after highlight. I got to go home and go to sleep. I can't stay up, but I want to go home and watch the highlights. Because, you know, when you go to the game, you see everything there. You see instant replay. Like, you need to see, like, Yes Network's production of the game and, like, quick pitch highlights and how it looks in that fashion to really feel it. Some news out there. The Miz, Jacob Mizorowski, the kid, the rookie from the Brewers, he's got 5 starts. He's going to his first All-Star game. The fewest ever for a player selected to the All-Star game. Major League Baseball is trying to put on a show. They're trying to showcase some of their best and brightest. And this young guy coming in and throwing gas, he's going to go there that quickly. Good for him. Good for Cody Bellinger, his first career 3-homer game. Judge with the glove, showing everybody how, you know, this guy is back where he's supposed to be. He played center field last year, but in Yankee Stadium, he was born to play right field. He dominates over there. Let's get to the phones, man. 888-808-1019. Again, I learned a lot about Billy Joel today, and shout out to him. You know, sometimes you can just live on a certain plane and listen to music and do certain things, and just like if it's a little bit before your time and a genre and like there's so many Billy Joel songs that I know that I didn't know were Billy Joel. So shout out to him. Shout out to this bobblehead and all the people that came out to get one and how that kind of just set the tone in the stadium. First pitch, it was packed. And then the Yankees followed up and they rocked all night. Jeremy out on Long Island. Are you back in Long Island? You went to the game?
I went to the game. Thank you. Thank you for taking the call. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get a Billy Joel bobblehead. I'm a big Billy Joel fan. It's part of my era. Yeah, I mean, the stadium was rocking, to your point. You know, I mean, I think the Yankees were clicking all cylinders. Everything looked great. I guess my question I have for you is, even though the Yankees are on a 5-game winning streak, everything looks beautiful, everybody's happy. What do you see the Yankees doing? You know, we got the trade deadline. I can't believe it's almost end of July. But you got it coming quickly. What do you see the Yankees doing? I know there's a lot of things going out there. You know, Brian Cashman had his stint in the Yankees thing, and he's, you know, third baseman, starting pitcher. But if you could be more specific, which players do you see the Yankees getting, maybe, because they have to get somebody? We all know that before the trade deadline or at the trade deadline.
Thanks for the call, Jeremy. I mean, I can't be specific on a player or players because nobody knows. Brian Cashman will know. He might not know today. We're 20 days away from the trade deadline. And this week we did hear Brian Cashman, and shout out to Brian Cashman for meeting the media and talking through the DJ LeMahieu DFA, but then also speaking to the fact that, you know, he worked for George Steinbrenner, and George, working under George, he's never comfortable. He's not comfortable right now. He's not satisfied right now. And then he gave you his shopping list. Yeah, we need a starter. We need some relievers. We need an infielder. But then he gave us a quote that I'm not sure. And this is what I'm saying. I don't know what to believe. But when Cashman says we're going to town, Is he bluffing? No. What I think he's doing is letting the whole league know we're the New York Yankees, and the holes that we need to fill are obvious. If you have guys available, we're open for business. Let's talk. Call me up. You know the number to dial. And any of these GMs, I'm sure, would love to put a 30-minute, hour-long meeting on their calendar in these upcoming weeks with Brian Cashman. The All-Star game is coming up. I don't know if they're going to go down there to Atlanta. They might be, baseball is going to kind of ascend on Truist Park. There's going to be some conversations going on there. The draft is going to happen there. So who exactly? I'm not going to come out and say it's a lock that they're going to get Eugenio Suarez. I'm not going to come out and say it's a lock that they're going to get Zach Gallen or Merrill Kelly or Ryan McMahon or Key Brian Hayes or Ryan Helsley or Emmanuel Clase. Those are all the names that are being thrown around. It takes two to tango. I've said these things so many times on the fan. It's 29 teams versus the New York Yankees. They're not lining up to help the Yankees get back to the World Series, especially with how the Yankees are rolling now. And then also there's a Brian Cashman tax because he has been doing this so long. They're going to try and stick him up, and Cashman won't be fleeced. But what I know is that right now they're rolling into this break, which is just so needed. Like, you could not come home and limp into the All-Star break. You couldn't be 1 foot into the All-Star break in front of your fans and play like that. The Boo Birds would be out. Instead, the vibes are immaculate. The Yankees keep winning. They have a winning streak. They're doing crazy things, hitting home runs, making highlight plays in the field, and you don't even feel like they need a lot. But we know that they can add a couple pieces to this thing so we can make the push to get back to the Fall Classic. 888-808-1019. My guy Moose in Jamaica on the fan. What's up, Moose?
Yankees, what it do?
Here.
Yes, sir. So once again, punch me in the stomach if I predicted the future before, even more so. This is why I have no friends. I'm a know-it-all. I'm a smart ass. I'm a Mr. Told You So. Like I told you, struggle in June. Just before the All-Star break, we'll pick it up, so on and so forth. But more so, the series against Atlanta is what's key. That being said, right, I have to show props, like you said, to Carlos Rodon, his best start as a Yankee. Validation for the signing once again. Even more so, Cody Bellinger, the pivot, plan B, still going smooth. And as you know, we picked up some games on Toronto. That being said, what are we going to do with the trade deadline with every single team pretty much trying to pick apart 4 or 5 clubs for all-star level talent? How do you see this playing out?
I think it can work in our advantage a little bit. Thanks for the call, Moose. And hey, shout out to you. Shout out to you if you're one of those Yankee fans that were like, I knew this too shall pass. Like, we knew it would pass. But there's no way to predict the future. I don't think anybody thought that they were going to lose every game Monday through Friday last week and then come home and put up 10 runs, 9 runs, come back from being no hit, walk them off, and then the next day, 11-0 shutout of the Cubs, who are one of the best offenses. They are one of the best offenses in baseball. They're a good team. They're a first-place team, folks. They have a bunch of guys. They have all-stars. They have a bunch of guys that can hit. They have guys that can pitch. And, I say 11-0 shutout. The Yankees made them look like a little league team. I don't know, bro. In there, I'm like, we're all high-fiving. Bleacher Creatures give me 3. Like, everything was going the Yankees' way, and the Cubs couldn't catch a break. So what's going to happen at the deadline? I don't know. But I think when you stumble a little bit like the Yankees did, it heightens everyone's senses. When you DFA someone like DJ LeMahieu, who had, his lockers cleaned out, this is somebody who has been around these guys, has relationships with these guys. You shake the room, and now everybody's looking around like, hey, trade deadline's coming up. 1, you could get traded out of here. 2, there's some new bodies coming in here where the roster's going to have to change. You might get sent down, or you might get moved or cut. And when competition comes in, nobody's job is safe. You don't know the deadline. Nobody knows, bro. A couple years back, Jordan Montgomery got traded for a center fielder in a walking boot, and it shook the room. Guys were emotional. So all is well right now in Yankee land. The Yankees are winning. You mentioned the Toronto Blue Jays. The Yankees are a game and a half back from them in first place. Hold on now. Max Fried going tomorrow. Let's see what happens Sunday. But, they have somewhat righted the ship here. No, they have completely righted the ship here. Give credit where credit is due. From Brian Cashman to Aaron Boone to Aaron Judge, and then all the players in between making it happen out there, the way they're making it happen out there, there is a heightened sense of urgency, and it has turned into production that we are all getting to watch and enjoy. And it's the right product and a different brand of baseball than we saw in the last month with 2 6-game losing streaks. Tony's in the Bronx where the Yankees played. What's up, Tony?
Yeah, hey, first of all, let me tell you, I think the Yanks woke up a little bit, and I love it. All right? I love it. All right? So they woke up. They woke up, KM. I mean, they're the Yanks. This is what we signed on for as fans. And so we love it, right? You know what I did, man? I fucked at the beginning of the game. I went out and walked my son in the patio, man. I was there in the...
Thanks for the call, Tony. 888-808-1019. I appreciate you, bro. At first, I thought you dropped an F-bomb. On second thought, I'm like, I don't know where we're going with this, but I appreciate the energy and the sentiment of the Yankees woke up. Yeah. And sometimes you need to be swept for the first time in history, 4 games in the Rogers Center in Toronto to be like, yo, this is not it. And again, I go back to this week. First, they say DJ will not be starting, and Jazz will go back to his regular position. These are pro ball players. If you know, they know. And what I mean by that is if you know that DJ LeMahieu is not playing the position better than somebody in the room that can, they know that. And Jazz is a team player and an all-star and competing in the home run derby. But Jazz is a team player where he'll go back to third base where he wasn't practicing, wasn't preparing. For the sake of let's see what we can get out of DJ LeMahieu, we did not get enough to satisfy putting him in the lineup or make it worth putting him even as the 9 hitter. And I know he had some knocks or whatever. Just like when you talk about waking up, the franchise woke up. Brian Cashman and the Yankees woke up to say, okay, $22 million. What's the $22 million where we just smoked a bunch of games in the last 3 weeks to a month, and we have a guy that plays sparkling defense at second. Jazz at second base, like, and I am a DJ LeMahieu fan. My MVP, your MVP, DJ L MVP. I used to say in 2019 when he was getting votes for AL MVP. But the difference between watching balls get hit to second and watching Jazz go scoop them up versus DJ let him either like go past him or under his glove or not, it's improvement noted. I think the whole defense is aided by it. I think that they all know it. They're tightening up the lineup. It's good. So change your clubhouse, change everything. I think I was making a joke last week about that apartments.com commercial. Change your apartment, change everything. You have to change things. If it's not going right, you can't keep going through the motion like that dog in the fire gif of this is fine. You can't just sit there. This is fine. No, change something. Change a couple things. And they have, and they're rolling now. And let's see what they do behind Max Fried. I know Max Fried is going to be eager to go out there in front of the Yankees Stadium crowd and have a good showing before the All-Star break. 888-808-1019. Let's go to King George, who's also in the Bronx. What's up, man?
Live long and prosper. Keith the Mac, who's always ready to attack, and if it ain't broke, it ain't him.
Hey.
And I didn't hear one call calling for Aaron Boone to get fired today.
No.
Not one.
No, that's done for now.
And it's like the fans are like the Phil Collins song, That's All. I know you remember that song, Phil Collins and Genesis.
I don't know that one. I don't know.
Well, listen to it and you'll get the.
I'm like a mid '90s, late '90s hip hop. That's when I started having cassette tapes, and then those disappeared, turned into CDs. Then those disappeared, turned into MP3s. I don't know. I'll look it up. Phil Collins, Genesis. What are the lyrics? Tie it in for us?
It's called. The name of the song is That Song. It was a big hit. And I'm from the Henry Got Flat Feet, and you have a great show and live long and prosper.
My man, appreciate you, King. 888-808-1019. Yeah, like, not for nothing. First couple cassette tapes I had, Notorious B.I.G., Pac, Got to some DMX, Mob D, JC. Evan is in Randolph on the Fan next. What's up, Evan?
Hey, how's it going, Keith?
Good. Thanks for calling. How are you?
Of course, man. I wanted to talk about Volpe. I was at the game tonight too. Obviously, like he's been struggling lately. Everyone's getting on him. But I do think that the double he hit tonight is going to hopefully set something up for him, and also the slide yesterday too. Hopefully, he can start to get going. I'm from North Jersey, so I'm rooting for the guy. I played baseball against him in high school.
Oh, awesome. So good. Like you can understand. One, you played against him. You know baseball is a tough sport. You're a Yankee fan.
Yes.
You can understand how hard it is to go out there in front of other Yankee fans being a local guy. And you said it, bro. From the slide last night, an incredible slide. Like he was dead to rights. Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh, they probably make that play 8 times out of 10. But Volpe was able to swim in there and get that. And I had said last night that I hope it carries into today, and it did. And I said, things are going right when Volpe's coming up and he's driving in runs. And it's just better that the Yankees had so many plays made tonight. You don't get it. You don't get a chance to boo. You don't get a chance to be a whipping boy. You don't get a chance for the fans to come down on you when you're blowing a team out 11-0. Thanks for the call, Evan. 888-808-1019. A little bit of trouble in Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes has a small stake in the Kansas City Royals. And tonight, I don't know why they keep showing there's this guy walking around in this, like, I don't know, is he Bigfoot? Planet of the Apes? This guy's in this big gorilla suit. Anyway, tonight at Kauffman, they gave out not Billy Joel bobbleheads. That's just a Yankee thing. 2015 Eric Hosmer champion giveaway bobblehead. 20,000 fans got a bobblehead that basically is a troll of the Mets. It's Eric Hosmer with a crown and I think a World Series ring as a bobblehead from 2015 when 10 years ago the Royals defeated the Mets in the World Series. And as I am watching this game on SNY now, the Royals have tacked on 2 more runs. I think I told you it was tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 6th. It is now 3-1 Royals in the bottom of the 7th. And as we talk about Anthony Volpe, there's another guy whose name always seems to come up with Anthony Volpe, and that's Bobby Witt Jr., same class. Those guys are friends, came up together. Bobby Witt Jr. homers to make it 3-1. There's a ride-along update on the Make It Happen Mets. They're certainly going to need to make something happen tonight to get through these last couple innings and come back and win on the road. 888-808-1019. Back to talking about the Yankees just so we can keep the vibes up. John is in Moorestown on the Fan. What's up, John?
Hey, Keith, how you doing? I always seem to catch you at night. I guess you're always on at night. I'm a musician, so I'm out playing at night.
I'm a night owl. I'm never on in the daytime.
Oh, there you go. Well, you're my man. You're the one I talk to on the Fan, it seems. Anyway, I was watching the game, and I have to say I had a gig tonight, so I was playing, and I was kind of half watching. And did Judge have 3 amazing catches? Because I couldn't tell.
Yeah, he robbed one. He dove forward for one. He dove to his side for another. And we hold our breath every time because we're so worried about the guy getting hurt. But he does not play like a guy worrying about being hurt. He's worried about catching the ball.
Especially that one where he ran sideways into the wall. I was waiting for his head to hit the wall. I'm like, please stop.
He's out there selling out for that play because he knew that was Rodon's last out. I was right in front of it. If you actually look at the video, you can see me. I was right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shout out to Mitchell in Fort Lee. Mitchell invited me to his seats. He's in 107, first row. And Judge kind of grimaced, but like he's making that play for Rodon. That was a great play in the dirt in fair territory.
It seems like everybody has kicked it up a notch, not just tonight, but even last night. I mean, when Volpe did that slide, I have never I'm 63 years old. I have never seen a baseball player make a head first slide like that where he was rolling, like he had his left hand to hit the plate and he pulled it back and then he rolled. It was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe was it Ichiro? I forget who the first one to do that swim move was. Thanks for the call, John. And thanks for rocking with me at night. Shout out to Volpe. I said last night how, Judge gave him credit saying, thank God Volpe's fast or there's nobody else that I would have wanted on third, but Volpe, I knew I had to do my job and just get the air, or get the ball in the air so 11 could get it done. And like what I was trying to tell y'all last night, and I took some calls late. I had a goofy call me at like 1:45 to be like, Volpe sucks. Why are you guys making so much over the slide? Because it's baseball. That slide won the game. And that took technique, skill, speed, effort, and you hope that him essentially winning the game with that slide, him and Judge, you hope that it carries into today. And it did. The Yankees had every reason today to just kind of go through the motions and say, well, we had a great time last night. We got to throw water on Judge. We came back and it was a great win. And they made more history tonight. That's their third 3-homer game in a season. Aaron Judge had a 3-homer game. Dominguez had a 3-homer game. Belly has one. This is the first season that's ever happened. The Yankees have multiple walk-off wins. JC Escara had one. Dominguez had one. Judge had one last night. I think I'm forgetting one. There are some special things that have happened in this short season. They just got to keep going. 888-808-1019. So, like, why are you guys making so much about? Because you know what? The general manager came out and he endorsed Anthony Volpe. The manager has defended Anthony Volpe to the point where, like I even said, they're embellishing a little bit. They're kind of rounding his numbers up. They're grading him on a curve. It's fine, though, because that's what you do for your guys. That's what you do for your shortstop. The fans want to keep attacking him. And you know what? With the Yankees winning and playing how they're playing, you kind of sound foolish now focusing on Anthony Volpe. 888-808-1019. Charlie's in Connecticut on the Fan next. What's up, man?
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
I'm good. How's everybody else out there?
Yeah, we're doing great. We're coming home right now. I have to say I'm pretty happy with Volpe. And the reason why is because he sucks. And I'm a Red Sox fan. Go Boston!
You shout out to Boston Red Sox, but not really. I know they're geeked up tonight. It seems like it's been a minute since the Red Sox swept the Yankees, since they were in the Bronx and the Yankees took that first game that Friday night. I was out there for that, and then the Yankees went on to lose. You Red Sox fans, I'm not going to waste too much time on you. We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all next month. Keep doing what you're doing with those ugly-ass green monster jerseys and those bananas and pajamas jerseys you wear. You're not doing anything this year. Congrats on Rafael Devers and knowing who he was and getting him up out of there. But yeah, I saw a little highlight from the Red Sox. They're on one. They're on one. Remember that though, Yankee fans. Remember that. A Red Sox fan called to troll us and say something about Anthony Volpe, and they're feeling themselves right now. But like, you don't even have to check the standings. You don't even have to check the scores. They did win tonight, and they had an emphatic win against the Tampa Bay Rays. And when you are looking at this American League East, and you're looking at what has happened in the last month, and even, the Red Sox, we're having a good week. The Red Sox are having a good week. They've just won 8 in a row, and they're now right behind the Yankees. They're 4.5 games out of first place. The Yankees are 1.5. So they're feeling themselves. So I understand. Friday night in Beantown, radio stations up there must suck. You're tuned into KM to AM. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Let's break it down. 888-808-1019. Keith McPherson on the Fan. Let's see what happens with this Mets-Royals game. I'm going to sprinkle in some more things that popped up in the world of the Yankees and baseball today. Here we are, top of the 8th, no outs, runner on first in Kansas City with the Mets down 3-1. Still taking your calls on the Yankees as we enjoy this win streak, this first win tonight against the Cubs, with Aaron Judge making great plays in the field and Cody Bellinger having a 3, almost 4-hit night, or a 4-homer night, when Carlos Rodon goes 8 innings, 4 hits, and gives you his best start that I think I've ever seen as a Yankee with 8 Ks. Keith McPherson on the Fan. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back.
It's BT and Sal, middays 10 to 2 on The Fan, 1019 FM.
All right, Soto time. All right, Joe. Juan Soto batting. I don't know if you guys are watching this. 2 on, no out. Juan Soto up. This is what they pay you the money for. Do it. He can hit a homer to take the lead in the 8th. Yep. All Juan Soto finna do is work a walk. All Juan Soto about to do is work a walk, bro. He's about to just pass the baton, bro. He's not like that, bro. He could win the game right now. Hit a homer. Hit a homer and take the lead. 4-3. 3-run bomb. Ooh, that's a that was a ball. Just called him for a strike. That ball is outside. That ball is outside. Let's go, Rodney. Bro, that's what I'm saying. Cashman didn't play it like Cashman was like, yeah, it's pretty obvious what we need, and we're going to go to town. New York State of Mind, Billy Joel coming back. Bobby Witt hit a 2-run homer. That's a Sasquatch for Benny. That's his nickname. Soto walk, like I said. Here comes the polar bear. Pitching change. Your facts. Yeah, give him credit. Juan Pierre was the first one. I feel like I've seen Ichiro do that. He's less than mediocre. If we're being honest with ourselves, he's less than. But he's ours. He's young. He'll work through it. That Sox fan came in, bro. Not for nothing. I've never been to Fenway. I don't rock with them at all. Like, I don't like the Red Sox or Red Sox fans at all. But I do have some Red Sox fans that stalk my social media because I'm a Yankee fan like this. So I probably went live, and in the description of my live, it says dial 888-808-1019, and it's not hard to call up right now. We're taking a ton of calls. It literally said, I think it said like Michael in Connecticut, Anthony Volpe. So if you notice my line of talking about Volpe, I was trying to get to somebody to talk about Volpe, and instead it was a troll. Happens to the best of us, they say. Are the Dodgers still in their losing streak? If they lose tonight, is that 7 in a row? If they lose tonight, that's 7 in a row. That's crazy. Pete Alonso. Foul ball. That was Hulk off.
Some folks like to get away, take a holiday from the neighborhood. Hop a flight to Miami Beach or to Hollywood. But I'm taking a Greyhound on the Hudson River line. I'm in a New York state of mind.
Yeah, me too. Keith McPherson on the Fan. We're watching the Met game and living in the Yankee wins on Billy Joel bobblehead night. A great night at the stadium. Shout out to you if you were there. I had to go tonight after not going to the Mariners series. I'm glad I did. And I honestly entered thinking, hey, if they lose, they lose. Like, I'm not expecting. It was a lot to come back from being no hit and walk them off and a lot of emotion last night. Man, they started a whole nother fire. 11 nada. And now, with my attention turned to the Mets, I think before the break, Juan Soto came up. He worked a walk. Pete Alonso struck out, broke his bat over his leg. Now Mark Vientos is up with the bases loaded, 1 out, top of the 8th. They just brought Estevez in out of the bullpen to face Alonso, and now he'll face Vientos. And the Make It Happen Mets, backs against the wall, have to get something here. This is the game right here. Have to get at least a run in here. I would hope you could tie the game here. Mark Vientos drives in. That's in the gap. That's going to score at least 2. Mark Vientos, is that a bases clearing double? It is. Juan Soto motoring. Bases clearing double. Pete Kennedy in the background, lit up. Mets take the lead 4-3 as New York State of Mind plays, as we are talking about the Yankees and keeping an eye on the Mets, doing a little bit of a ride along, taking your calls at 888-808-1019. Let's get another call in as we wait to see what happens now. There's still 1 out here. Mark Vientos coming through clutch. Mark Vientos is like that. I was saying the other night about Mark Vientos with what he did in the postseason. He's kind of struggled, obviously, this year, but like that clutch gene, that slow heartbeat, that ice in your veins, that doesn't go away. And he just came up big for the Mets right there. Swaggy V with a bases clearing double to take the lead in the top of the 8th. 888-808-1019. Greg is in Connecticut on the Fan now. What's up, Greg?
Hey, Keith. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Just 2 things. One, grew up in Ocean Township, moved to Connecticut like 40 years ago, but used to ride my bike through the apartments on my way over to, I think it was a Grand Union or a ShopRite or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I know the whole Middlebrook to Continental to Twinbrook. I know that whole trail. Rode my bike through there at least 1,000 times.
Yeah, I grew up on Middlebrook Drive, just so right there. I was at the game tonight. It was electric, just unbelievable. And I've listened to a bunch of callers. And I don't know if you talked earlier, but after the second inning, he was lights out. Like, we were worried that he wasn't going to make it through 5 through the first 2 innings. He was throwing a lot of pitches. Unbelievable how he pitched with the 3-run lead and the 5-run lead. He was great. He was just tremendous. And then, no work on the bullpen tonight, too. So super setup for the next couple days.
Yes. I know early in the game, we all kind of were waiting for something to happen. And you kind of get that feeling. Like I said, early in the game, it was like, okay, if Rodon doesn't have a good night or they lose, we're not going to be too upset about it coming off of the sweep and the heroics last night. But, yeah, like you said, after those first couple innings, he got through those. And then that 3rd inning, when Belly broke it open, the party started and it did not stop.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. And, Bellinger almost had 4. And Judge, tremendous. So many highlights from tonight. And I really do think, like you were saying before, it built off last night. Maybe that's a turning point. And, just go through the All-Star break, come back, keep that momentum going, catch the Blue Jays, put some distance behind with them. And, we see what happens in October.
Yeah, I'm with you, Greg. Thanks for the call, 888-808-1019. As we get ready for the midnight switch and break, I'll say good morning on the other side, and then eventually we'll get to a big shot. But I do want to see what happens here in this game with the Mets. The thing about baseball is, man, these guys are pros. These guys are elite. These guys know it, and they also know that they're going to struggle. And I give Aaron Boone credit for saying, we know through 162, we're going to go through this. He also said something along the lines of not being reactionary. They asked him about being worried, and Aaron Boone said, I worry about everything, but I try not to approach it with emotion. I forget his wording on it. He's basically saying, I'm not going to be irrational day to day. I'm worried about everything, but I'm not bugging out about it on a nightly basis. And now when they right the ship, you also can't get too high. And so they could have got too high off of the comeback win last night. They could have got too high off of the no-hitter and then coming back and walking them off and said, all right, we can take Friday night off. They did not. They carried it into this game. And you get the win of the year last night. And then maybe one of the most comfortable blowout. I think that's the largest mark. I don't know. It was a great win and great vibes all around. Keith McPherson on the Fan. We're going to take another break here. Like I said, we're coming up on the 12 o'clock switch. I think I can sneak another call in before we go straight to the update, and then I'll say good morning on the other side. Speaking of Aaron Boone, let's talk to Mike out on Staten Island about Booney.
Hey, Keith, what's up, man? First time, long time. Love the show.
Thank you. How are you?
Keith, I saw you on New York Minute a week ago just blasting Aaron Boone. Do you feel that same way now after these last 5 games, or have you flipped on that?
Oh, did you say I was blasting Aaron Boone?
Yeah.
I don't think I was blasting Aaron Boone. What I've been saying about Aaron Boone is you got to check these guys, and maybe he does behind closed doors. What I was saying about Aaron Boone is you can't tell these guys that they're the best team in the league when they're getting swept by the Toronto Blue Jays, and then that leaks out to us in the media. You can't tell us that it's raining, and I said a lot of things about how Boone's post games went. But we kind of know how his post game. We should know right now. So I wouldn't say I'm blasting Aaron Boone. If anything, I say Aaron Boone's going nowhere. He's the manager of these Yankees. He's the manager. He's not going anywhere. But I also will volley back at you and say it's July 11th. They didn't win the World Series by winning the Mariners series with a sweep. They didn't win the World Series tonight by winning 11-0. Aaron Boone is not beyond reproach. When the Yankees win, the Yankees players get credit, like Aaron Judge, like Carlos Rodon, like Cody Bellinger. Aaron Boone doesn't get that much credit. But I gave Aaron Boone credit last night for the lineup, for the pinch hitting, for even the decisions with the bullpen. So no, I'm not a blast Aaron Boone type. I haven't ever called for his job. I've been around Boone multiple times. I always say he's a good guy, he's a nice guy. But what I needed from Boone, which maybe he did that behind the scenes, hold these guys accountable. Check them. Don't give them cupcakes and pats on the back when they're embarrassing all of us. And maybe he did. Maybe he did check, the whole team after Toronto and even in the Subway Series and say, listen, this is not good enough. We've got X amount of games left. We're going into the All-Star break. We got to pick it up before then. So kudos to Aaron Boone and the Yankees, because it's not all on Boone. Boone doesn't get to step in the box anymore. He doesn't get to make any throws. He doesn't get to make any plays. He has to lead. And I gave him credit just now for his even-keeled approach as far as him saying, I worry about everything, but I'm just not going to overreact on a day-to-day, night-to-night basis. 888-808-1019. We'll do the big shot of the night when we come back. Maybe the Mets get the rest of the outs that they need to figure this thing out tonight so we can have a great feel-good Friday into Saturday morning with a Mets win and a Yankees win in their win streak. Let's take this break right now and go to the update. Keith McPherson on the Fan. I'll be right back.
Get the latest on the Giants and Jets on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Good morning at 12 a.m. I'm Jennifer Williams. Carlos Rodon was added to the American League All-Star squad, replacing teammate Max Fried. This is the third All-Star nod for Rodon in the last 5 years. The lefty rode the momentum as he got the start for Game 1 of the Yankees' three-game set against the Cubs in the Bronx, lasting 8 dominant innings for the fifth time in his career while striking out 8. Rodon got a little help from a big friend on defense.
Pitch is hit deep to right. Into the corner goes Judge. Back at the wall. The captain leaps. And did he make the catch? He made the catch. Oh, Aaron Judge just made one heck of a play right up against the wall.
Ricky Ricardo on the call, which you heard right here on WFAN. The Yankees offense did the rest. Cody Bellinger hitting a 3-run bomb against his former club as the Yankees crushed the Cubs 11-0. Here's Judge on Belly's big night.
Wow, that was should have had 4. That was an impressive night out of him. He was locked in from the very beginning. Just great at bat after great at bat. Didn't matter who they were bringing in to face him. He was locked in, dialed in, ready to go.
That was courtesy of the Yes Network. After a rain delay in Kansas City, the Mets lead the Royals 4-3 in the 8th after Mark Vientos hit a 3-run double to center. Kodai Senga back on the mound, who allowed 4 hits, walked 2, and struck out 4 through 4 innings of work. I'm Jennifer Williams.
Catch all the play-by-play with Susan Waldman and Dave Sims, the home of Yankees radio, The Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Good morning. Good morning. And there it is for your New York Mets. The Metropolitans bring in Reed Garrett, and he's able to get the job done in the 8th inning. So here we go now to the 9th. Can the Mets add on an insurance run? They're up 4-3 here in Kansas City, looking for the win, the first game of this series against the Royals. Let's see. Anyway, back to the Yankee conversation and everything else going on out there. Shout out to the chat, the good folks chatting it up as we wait to see what happens with the Mets here. I was watching a game and I did not know why there was a Bigfoot, gorilla-looking type of guy walking around. I guess Vinny Pasquantino, Vinny Pasquatch, his nickname is the Sasquatch. So that is a Sasquatch, Bigfoot-looking character walking around for him. Isn't baseball great? They just make up nicknames. And the Big Dumper, in my chat, they're like, is the Big Dumper going to hit 40 bombs before the All-Star break? I'm like, he left Yankee Stadium. He hit 2 tonight. He can hit 1 tomorrow, 1 Sunday, and have 40. We need Judge to homer. But hey, Judge was flashing the leather tonight. Anyway, I said, off of the 3 games in Yankee Stadium, Cal Raleigh was striking out. I know he did go yard, but I think Judge showed head-to-head, which is tough to do in baseball, but head-to-head he showed he's a better player. He's the MVP. He walked off the series and the sweep, and Cal Raleigh said, all right, I'm out of here. I'm going to go do my damage elsewhere. And Judge will probably homer tomorrow. 888-808-1019, queuing up the big shot of the night for the next break.
Man, Cody Bellinger, don't be bashful. Don't be shy. Didn't want to come out for the curtain call. Did not want to come out for the curtain call until it got really loud with the chants. And, hey, you got to give the fans what they want. Man, what a week. Cam Schlittler made his debut. We had that whole dynamic. Maybe that's why there's some Boston fans tuned in. I spoke last night about how his dad, and his whole family, they're right in the middle of Red Sox territory. They, grew up Boston Red Sox fans. He used to be with the Red Sox. And, for one night they were rooting for the Yankees. Hopefully he can stick in the rotation for a little while. We'll see what happens at the deadline as Tyrone, you better call Tyrone. Tyrone Taylor. Did he get on second? He did. Leadoff double to start the ninth for the Mets. The Mets are back feeling it, doing their wheels on the bus uppercut celebration. Anywho, I wanted to go to Katie Sharp. Her page is always great for the stats and the things that come out of the game. If you were at the game or you just want to know some things that were happening that, the numbers tell a different story. The Yankees have scored 5+ runs in 10 straight games. This is their longest streak since July of 2012. Special things are happening. Trying to tell y'all, there's some good mojo, some magic in the Bronx. Yesterday, going back to yesterday, I'm like, do we add one today? I don't know if we added one today. I'm trying to go back and think. The Yankees now have 32 sac flies, which is the most in the American League. Sac fly kings. I already told you about the 3 homers, right? This is the first time ever, and it could happen again. It could happen later in the season. First time ever that the Yankees have a year where they have 3 homer games. Imagine if you bet that. See, I'm such a fiend. That's why I stopped gambling. Because I always would look at betting anyone to homer 3 times in a night. If you put $100 on Cody Bellinger to homer, it probably would have turned into $3,000. More. Pete is more. I don't know. I haven't been doing it, but it's always plus thousands, plus 30,000. Imagine you were on that for the A's game with Dominguez or on that tonight for Belly. Belly, I felt I just didn't make a move on it because I'm like, oh, he's playing his former team, Yankee Stadium. And I'm sure there's no grudges. But, shout out to Cody Poteet. Cody Poteet is not even with the Cubs. He's on the IL with the Baltimore Orioles, who swept the Mets yesterday, as Brandon Nimmo works a walk, chucks his bat as hard as he can, and sprints down to first base. The Mets are threatening. That insurance run is looming. 2 on, no outs, top of the ninth. And here comes Francisco Lindor. Bob is out in Los Angeles. Next up on the Fan in New York. Hello, Bob.
Hey, Keith. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Listening to you talk, you kind of really is about what I want to talk about. Listening to you kind of do a breakdown, play-by-play of the Mets. And it's basically this. And I'm pretty independent.
Lindor just hit that out.
No. Boom.
Lindor just went yard. The Mets are all the way back tonight in Kansas City. That's a 3-run bomb to make it 7-3, top of the ninth. Talk about insurance.
Perfect timing, man. Because my call is basically this: is that I think the Mets product on and off the field is so superior, so much more exciting, so much more upside than the Yankees product. And I really think, did you talk about the discrepancy about the Yes and SNY ratings last week?
Which product are we talking about? Are we talking about the broadcast? Are we talking about the Dickie Love lady? Are we talking about Ryan Stanek? Are we talking about...
No, the broadcast. The SNY baseball broadcast has 70% higher viewership than Yes. And it's that's not little brother. That's the metrics are there, man. If they win the World Series, the Yankees are going to be Grandpa's team sooner than we think.
No, stay with me, Bob. Shout out to SNY and the good folks at SNY that do produce those games. They do a great job. If they go to the World Series, which they haven't done since before I was alive, it won't be broadcast on SNY. It have nothing to do with anything. But yeah, props to SNY. What I say, they're cinematic. They make movies through baseball games. They've been voted as the best broadcast booth with Gary, Keith, and Ron. All props to them for that. Yankee fans cannot really argue that the Yes Network is better, but the Yes Network is good. The Yes Network isn't some far second. I think they're right behind them.
I don't know, man. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like that new guy, just for the radio, he's fine, but there's nothing New York about him. Like Susan, John, Darling, Cohen,
New guy.
Marvell,
What new guy are we talking about? The guy who called the game tonight?
doing radio with Susan? Sims, is that his name?
Dave Sims is not new. Yeah. Oh, is that another bomb?
He's new on the Yankee broadcast.
Soto goes deep. Thanks for the call, Bob. I'll handle this. Soto goes deep. His 22nd homer of the year. Now it's 8-3. They're piling on. And yeah, go ahead and get right tonight. It's one of those nights tonight. The Yankees got right. The Mets are following suit. I'm on till 2. I'll take some Mets calls. I know a Met fan don't always want to talk to me, and that's fine. I'll be a Yankee boy, Yankee shill, Yankee homer, all that. I was like that before you ever knew who I was. I was like that before you ever heard me. But we can share the radio station. Mets fans need this one tonight. This is another hell of a win. I mean, you thought you had a satisfying win with that comeback against the Baltimore Orioles. They're scrubs. The Royals are scrubs too. But this is now your Fab Four coming alive, huh? And then even your baby Met and Mark Vientos being a hero. Well, now, and you know what I said? I was trying to prolong the big shot of the night just in case we had to pour up a round of shots, maybe some double shots for the Mets if they were able to make it happen, and they have. Now, like, not for nothing, bro. so Austin Cart put out a tweet. The Mets and Yankees rivalry is getting hotter. 3 Subway games from July 4th through 6th average 356,000 viewers on SNY. That's plus 70% over what the Yes Network drew in for the series. SNY was 154% better among adults 25 to 54 and 166% better among adults 18 to 34. Okay. I don't know what that does. Like, does anyone print that out and like put it on a t-shirt or like put that on your car? Like, I think maybe the folks that work at SNY could have a couple beers and celebrate that. But like, what are we talking about? Like Bob from Los Angeles tried to say that if the Mets win the World Series this year, which they're not going to win the World Series this year, and if they're wrong, if I'm wrong and they do win the World Series, I'll be right to say, wow, I was wrong. What happened? They'll make it happen. They're not winning the World Series this year. But in Bob's world, if the Mets win the World Series this year and the Yes Network broadcast is so far behind SNY, what is it? What are we talking about? Those things aren't correlating. That's why you're talking about the product. Are you talking about the product on the field? Because we just watched the Mets this week roll out Justin Hagenman and Brandon Waddell and Rico Garcia and Dickie Loves Ladies and Zach Pop. And like, what are we talking about? The Yankees have been putting a great product on the field. And shout out to the good folks at Yes. I grew up watching the Yes Network, still watching the Yes Network. I don't think because SNY is so great, we got to put the Yes Network down. Yeah, sure, they're in the same market. Well, I'll tell you this, the Yankee fans go to that stadium. The Yankee fans go to the Bronx to watch them play. I know the Met fan is tuning in on TV. So much so they're not listening to me right now. There's not one Mets fan listening to little old me right now. Except Pete. No, I know. I'm stirring the pot a little bit. I'll get some Mets reaction to this game. This is a game you had to go get. Kodai Senga back. Kodai Senga is back, and you needed him back. His ERA I saw was down to like 1.39. Like Kodai Senga not making an all-star game, but he's been an all-star before, and you need him in this rotation. As I'm talking about, the bullpen games you've had to play here recently. It's a tough little stretch, but I expect David Stearns to make some moves to fortify the bullpen as he did last year and maybe even go get a starter. And, you did get the news that Sean Manaea will be back. And I think the plan for Sean Manaea is to piggyback Clay Holmes on Sunday before the All-Star break. So we shall see, man. We shall see. There can never be peace, though, huh? There can never be peace. We even have to put the cable networks against each other. Oh, SNY is so much better than Yes Network. It depends what you like, man. I caught myself watching John Sterling and History of the Yankees the other day. I've been while. They got to update it. It ends with like Didi Gregorius hitting grand slams. They're like, we gotta We got to hit refresh. We went to a World Series. Like, there's so much more that happened after that. But then he took a couple shots at Dave Sims. Listen, bro, I joke around about Dave not suffering with us Yankee fans because he's not a Yankee fan. Like, I think Dave grew up in Philly, and Dave, for years, was calling Seattle Mariners games. And Dave is a pro's pro. Shout out to Dave, who was down in Atlanta today. That's why he wasn't on the broadcast. And what he was helping do was lend his voice to growing the game on MLB Network. Dave Sims and Harold Reynolds were calling the HBCU Swingman Classic, which now is an event that starts to kick off All-Star Weekend into All-Star Week, where historically black colleges send their top players to play wherever the All-Star game is. So they were down in Atlanta, and Dave Sims went down there to call that game with Harold Reynolds. But when I say he's a pro's pro, he's been doing this a long time, and not just baseball. Football, basketball, he's been in the game for a long time. When I first came to WFAN, I was honored. He reached out to me and told me that he was doing the night shift on the radio in New York talking sports when I was born. I'm like, it's kind of nuts. So yeah, shout out to Dave. Shout out to Ricky Ricardo, who held it down tonight. Some electric calls. Maybe we can queue up some of those too for anybody that missed them. I'm sure there's some in the system. I think we had a couple on the update. But him and Emmanuel who filled in last night and then kind of sat in Susan's chair. And we have some talented people that call the games. And not two of them are the same. They all have their own style and voice and background, whatever. And what I'll say as someone who is not trying to be a broadcaster, not trying to be an announcer, not trying to call games, but did have the honor and privilege to sit in for Susan Waldman last year, that's hard to do. Like, that's really hard to do. It's nerve-wracking. And maybe for me, it was harder to do because I'm such a fan. And like that perspective, like even hearing Keith go. I'm like, oh, I got to live from Yankee Stadium. It's me bringing us in. I'm like, this is insane. And it's hard to do, man. There's so much information you got to know about the away team. You can know everything about the Yankees. You still got to know a lot about the away team. You got to know what they just did the last week. You got to know about their season. You got to know they hand you these packets. You got to know what's coming up as far as timing. This first pitch is brought to you by whatever. This first walk, this first strikeout. You got to read. They're like, that stuff is not easy. I know a lot of you guys listen to the broadcast, whether it's the radio or TV. And you're like, I could do that. Okay. Like, there's a reason that people go to school for this type of stuff. There's reasons that, people are doing like, the Staten Island Yankees or the Somerset Patriots and working on their craft and making their way up to the big leagues. It's not easy. Huh? I know what I said because I had some weirdos trolling me. What else is new? Welcome to my life. I had some weirdos trolling me when I sat in for Susan last year. They were like, oh, Keith makes us really appreciate Susan. Good. You should. You should appreciate how good Susan Waldman has been at her job forever. 888-808-1019 as we're waiting for these last two outs. Davinsky on the mound in the ninth inning. I mean, it's not a save situation now. The Mets have blown the game open 8-3. Just need this guy to get two more outs, and then the Mets take the first game in Kansas City as they try to right the ship, right? The Mets had so much momentum. The Mets we were looking at as, it was the Yankees and the Mets struggling at the same time. Look at this guy fielding his position for the second out. One to get. 888-808-1019 as we have some Mets fans incoming. But yeah, it seemed like for the Mets at the end of June, both going through a June swoon, the Mets and Yankees, it seemed like, okay, the split against the Braves, the Mets righted the ship. And then they go and get swept by the Pirates. And it's like, nope, not so fast. But then Mother Nature gets involved. I was talking about Mother Nature aiding the Mets, and they're able to win the series against the Brewers, and then they carry that into a 4-game win streak taking the Subway Series in Queens, and it's like, okay, the Mets are good, the Mets are back. And then they have one of the better wins of the season coming back and beating the Orioles 7-6 in extras, and that's game. Mets win. Put it in the books. A big win. We're going to get some post-game sound from Carlos Mendoza, from Lindor, who hit a big homer, from Vientos, who had the bases clearing double. Soto, who went yard. We'll get some audio coming out of Kansas City before I'm done here tonight at 2. But let's take a call. 888-808-1019. Jeff is in Woodbridge on the Fan. What's up, Jeff?
Keith, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. I thought you might just have a little insight and intel more so than me, but what do you think the Nets' plan is for like this year and just future, just to play all the young kids?
Nets, Brooklyn Nets?
Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. They better have a plan, man. It's time. They cannot fall so far behind the Knicks and what we've seen the Knicks do in the last year as far as like really captivating the basketball fan in New York City, really galvanizing their fan base so much so that they've got to shut down 7th Avenue and they're going viral and all that. The Brooklyn Nets got to pick it up. What do I think they're doing? I don't know. I'm not that smart to know what the hell they're doing. I didn't know what they were doing in the draft. I didn't know what they were doing in the season. I didn't know if they were tanking. I didn't know if they were trying to make the plan. I didn't know if they were resting guys because they were hurt. I didn't know what the hell they were doing with Ben Simmons. Once I got Ben Simmons out of here, I'm like, great. So where they're at now with Michael Porter Jr. being on the team, that's a champion. That's a guy that's an NBA respected player. Terrence Mann is another guy who's an NBA respected player. They obviously have pieces on their team that we expect to evolve and some young talent. I don't really expect much out of these rookies. We'll see. I was watching the Summer League game a little bit 2 days ago, but it like took them forever to score 9 points on. I'm like, this is JV. I don't know how to say it or watch this. And the Mets were on. But yeah, the Brooklyn Nets have to compete this year. They cannot be complete bottom feeders. If they start off and they're bottom feeders, then go ahead and tank and let the kids play. But I think right now, as they took some of that money, right, because they had all that cap space, and they take on Terrence Mann's contract, they bring in Michael Porter Jr. I think they're going to look to compete. They're not going to look to win a championship, but they're going to look to be certainly better than they were last year.
Yeah, as long as they can put a halfway decent product on the floor, I mean, that'll be a big step up from the last couple of years. It's been tough to watch, and I've been a fan like my whole life. So
yeah, they have the coach now, and they have more than enough pieces now. Even like, I thought it was a steal of a deal for what they're paying Day'Ron Sharp, Zaire Williams. I think they have the coach. So as long as Jordy Fernandez has the players, I'm very interested to see what happens with Cam Thomas too. Because we all know Cam Thomas is a bucket, quote unquote. But like, does Cam Thomas fit into their future plans, how they want to play? And Cam Thomas wants his money. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thanks for taking the call, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. And that is, are the Nets still in the league? A little segment I'll start on my show. Are the Nets still in the league by Keith McPherson, where I'll just talk about the Brooklyn Nets. Where's Evan at? Hey, Evan, if you're listening in, I don't know, where's Evan? Croatia or something at this point?
Doing a Rico.
He is probably about to hit the live Rico. I'm not going to hold you up. Like, I think, and respect to Evan, because I came from the podcast world before I got on the radio. It is so hard to build a podcast. Pete, you know the deal. And Evan and the Rico Bronya podcast in just 2 years has caught fire, and it's because of his dedication to it. And it's kind of crazy he didn't do it sooner, but whatever, better late than never. How fast he got to 500 podcasts, and how, the demand, right? And I kind of made a joke the other day when the Mets lost the first game of the doubleheader. I'm like, we need a Rico before game 2. But when I say demand, like, it's like Mets fans want to hear Evan talk about the Mets. I don't know anybody that talks about the Mets better than Evan talks about the Mets. He obviously loves them, knows the whole history, has lived his whole life. My Mets Bible is in here right in front of me. Like, Evan talks about the Mets, and he doesn't leave any stone unturned. And so it's a good product. It's a good podcast. Even doing the live podcast at Fanatics Fest, I remember giving him the props for having Mendoza on the podcast live at the Javits Center and getting that little bump, because then the Mets ended up scoring like 11 runs down in Philadelphia. And I'm sure, wherever he is in Europe, I don't know, 7-8 hours ahead. So it's the morning right now. Like, if he went to sleep and woke up and watched the Mets game, like, he's probably going to fire one off. Shout out to Hoff too. I don't know if Hoff gets enough credit for producing the Rico Bronya and helping Evan, because I know Evan does not know how to use the computer. Like, I remember when they first started it, I remember being in the chat, and I was like, I forget what was going on, but they couldn't get the the Rico Bronya podcast. Like they couldn't get the intro to stop playing. And I was trying to help Evan on the back end because I'm pretty well versed in StreamYard, and we could not. They were not hearing me. I'm like, how does Evan not know? Evan did. I don't know what number podcast it was. Evan did a whole Mets podcast over the intro music playing the entire time. He just kept going and going. Dedication to the pod. Evan is missed. You just got through a whole week of more Ash and Tiki. Evan, this is a week that we need you to come and talk about the Mets and where they are with this makeshift bullpen and these bullpen games, and now trying to right the ship, getting the starting pitching back and trying to take a series against the Kansas City Royals. Earlier today, I said, like, the Royals tried to troll the Mets. The Mets get the last laugh. The giveaway tonight at Kauffman Stadium was a 2015 Champs bobblehead featuring Eric Hosmer with his ring and like a crown, obviously the Royals. But yeah, they were trying to kind of play the Mets, like, oh yeah, hey, welcome back. Like, and I just saw this happen in Kansas City. No, not Kansas City. They're in Kansas City now. I just saw this happen in the north side of Chicago, like the Guardians, because now we're doing this balanced schedule. The Guardians come back to Wrigley Field and they're putting up signs like, congratulations, 2016 World Series losers, 2016 World Series runner-ups, 2016 World Series second place. So I don't know if anybody leaned into that at Kauffman Stadium with the Mets returning, but the organization definitely knew, like, hey, the Mets are coming here. What kind of bobblehead should we make? Let's make one commemorating the decade it's been since the 2015 World Series, and we'll give it out that night when the Mets come to town. Juan Soto, he does it. Juan Soto trying to pad his stats to get to the All-Star game. It is kind of crazy. They keep adding people to the All-Star game. Ronald Acuna is scratched. As a matter of fact, that was something I wanted to talk about. Ronald Acuna is scratched from the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. And earlier this week, I don't know how closely you guys listen to my shows, but earlier this week, there was a game where Acuna was scratched from the lineup. And I said, hey, that's the lane for Soto. That's the lane for Soto to get in. There has to be some type of real, I don't know, they really don't want Soto to be in it's kind of crazy because it doesn't make any damn sense. The highest paid player in your sport, one of the most popular players in your sport, take away the money, take away the fame, one of the best players in your game, one of the best at-bats in your game. He's not going to play in your All-Star game in Atlanta where he's played as a National, a Padre, a Met. Like, I don't know. Something's fishy about it, right? Like, and I leaned into his quote and his comments. Like, he should have never mentioned money. They got to work with him. I don't know who it is. And I'm not talking like work with him on hustling. He's not going to hustle. He's just going to play. But they got to work with him on his tone, his delivery, and the ability to just lie to the New York media. Like his joke about, there's a lot of money on the table. It just came off wrong because, that's a lot of money to us, Juan. We know that's not a lot of money to you. Should have just said, hey, Juan, did you want to make the All-Star game or whatever, however it was asked? Yeah. He said, what do you think? Yeah, his answer should have been, I would have really loved to represent the Mets there. I would have really loved to be with my teammates there. Now you've got David Peterson going, and Acuna's out. They got Matt Olson replacing him. How is that not Juan Soto? 888-808-1019. I think I want to break here as I see the calls coming in, and that'll give us some more time to collect post-game audio from the Met game and get in some Mets calls here now that the Mets have defeated the Royals 8-3 in Kauffman.
I do have some research for you, though.
Yeah.
On the Cody Bellinger 3+ home run bet front. Yeah. According to my research, it's actually not even a bet that exists. They didn't even have the option for him to homer 3 times tonight for you to bet it? Not only him, anybody. You can't even do Judge 3+ on DraftKings. And FanDuel, I can't find it either. So maybe I'm wrong, but I'm looking it up pretty tight over here. But 2+ home runs is plus 5,000. So to think about 3+ home runs, it's probably an insane payout, like $100 to win like $50K.
You got to be able to bet maybe 3 homers. I know because I've done it. You got maybe now after the fact it's not available sometimes.
No, I'm looking at tomorrow's game. Like
even tomorrow's. But
I can't find it.
I think sometimes once you get closer, once they have the lineups, once they, they'll have even that you can bet on the first homer. Sometimes you can't bet the first homer until right before the game. Sometimes you can't bet 3 homers till right before the game because I don't know, something could happen between tonight and tomorrow. Anyway, but thanks for looking that up because I was like, if you put $100 on it, that's turning into 3,000, 30,000. Oh, who knows? But yeah, big night for Cody Bellinger. Big night for the Mets. So when we come back, we'll do the big shot of the night, and we'll pour up double shots. We'll share the celebration and the accolades and the prize for the players of the game for the Yankees and the Mets. So yeah, we'll pour up a round of shots for the big shots of the night. Stay with us. Call the fan at 888-808-1019. This is Keith McPherson. I'll be right back.
It's Saturday in the park with the Yankees and
So Billy Joel big shot. Yeah. If you want to start it right where you started it, it's fine. Cool. Oh. When we get some Yankees calls, when we get some Yankee callers, if you can get some of the home run calls and Judge's calls from Ricky Ricardo if they're in the system. But like right now, I think it's more important to work on Mendoza, Lindor, Soto, Senga post game reaction from the Mets. Yeah. Yeah, and even if you got to go to Twitter, SNY videos or SNY Mets, yeah. Oh, yeah, a little switch up. The big shot of the night is brought to you by WFAN and me, Keith McPherson. Bright lights, big city. You know, we got a bunch of big shots. We got to pour up tonight. Let's start with the Yankees. Let's start with Carlos Rodon, his best outing as a Yankee. Goes 8 innings, 4 hits, nada. Gives up no runs, 8 strikeouts, and even fights Booney to say, hey, keep me out here. I got one more in me. Let me get this one. And the Judge comes through to save the day. And then Belly. What the belly? Cody Bellinger with the curtain call. 3 homer night that, like, make sure you say it was almost 4. Kyle Tucker robbed him of one. That one was going out. A 4 homer night. Really in the box score, it's 3 homers, 3 hits, 6 ribbies. Again, the first time he faces his former team, against his former employer, and against the Cubs. And he's saying, listen, you don't even have the guy you traded me for. They traded another guy named Cody, and you don't even have him. What are you thinking? Thank you. Can't thank you enough. And then, they're talking about how Belly loves being a New Yorker, and all you guys are talking about extending Cody Bellinger. And, man, a lot of us are talking about how great he's been, his 15-game hitting streak, and the double play he made against the Mets. Let's talk about the Mets now. Let's pour up some more shots. This is a whole round for the Make It Happen Mets. I mean, that is what I talk about when I call them the Make It Happen Mets, imposing their will. Losers let it happen. As they've let some things happen, winners make it happen. Now, this is a guy that, like, needs a pick-me-up almost in the, vein of like a Anthony Volpe. This guy kind of needs some things to go right for him and, needs the fans to lift him up and not quit on him. Another young guy. I'm giving the big shot of the night, at least the first shot, to Mark Vientos. Yes, Swaggy V. I know Lindor homered. I know Soto homered. But, like, Vientos is the one that came up after Pete Alonso struck out and hit a bases-clearing double to take the lead. Like, he's the one that was clutch. He's the one that did it. As the Mets struggle with runners in scoring position, he came up and turned the clock back to October and showed you that he's got ice in his veins and that he's unfazed in those moments. He can be clutch. I got to give that to Mark Vientos. But then I also give a second one to Lindor. Lindor ends up having 2 hits, 3 ribbies, and the homer he hit. I was sitting in here talking about, hey, you need some insurance. I was talking about, hey, they need to make sure that, they don't get walked off. And, I mean, in the top of the 9th, Lindor comes up and hits his 19th homer of the year as he's heading to the All-Star game representing the Mets as the National League shortstop. That makes it 7-3 before Soto tacks on another one to make it 8-3. And the Mets end up smoking the Kansas City Royals late in the game, kind of being the comeback kids again, the Make It Happen Mets. 888-808-1019. Back to the phones we go. Ross, Bergen County, always on the fan. What's up, Ross? Good. How are you?
I'll take a bad win over a good loss any day of the week, twice on Sundays. But tonight's bad of a win as you'll see, man. And don't let the 8-3 fool you. No, it is, man.
A bad win when you got swept by the Baltimore Orioles in a doubleheader yesterday, you should be pumped.
Absolutely.
You're not pumped off the 7 runs scored in the 8th and 9th inning?
Well, that was some low leverage slugging at the end. I talk about low leverage Soto. I got to shout out my buddy Donnie on Twitter. Came up with a Juan Solo, and he did like the whole Grok picture, like the
Juan Solo shots. Juan Solo shots.
Yep. Every time when there's a guy on base, he's chasing at a ball in the dirt, and that's what he did multiple times. And with the fast
working a walk, he did work a walk to get on base and load the bases.
I mean, the jokes write themselves with that one too. Well, I'll talk about this Fab Four, and honestly, bro, talk about Pete too. You know, the boo-hoo always me snapping the bat. Talk about bases loaded before Vientos finally. I mean,
it was his third strikeout, bro. He was pissed.
About damn time with Vientos. Talk about another one who was pissed. I saw somebody say when Vientos pounded the dirt, that was the hardest he hit anything this year, which is probably not far off. I'm telling you, man, it's ridiculous, brother. Nimmo play. I'm telling you, you're going. I saw at one point they flashed the little RHE in the bottom left corner. The hits were 10-2. 10-2, and they talk about where they had the bases loaded. The only way they even got a run, to score was off the walk. And obviously, like you say, you see 8 runs at the end of the game, but how many of those runs came up when it was late? It's essentially a 4-3 game. Talking about the low leverage runs, and this kind of comes full circle. I got to see Cohen after the game. Did you bring up the Cohen tweet yet? Did you see what he just tweeted?
No. Did he say anything about the Fab Four?
No. He a little bit, but he don't know how to shut his mouth. He's a front runner. Talk about what the whole thing. Remember Tyrese Halliburton? Everybody was saying he's all talk and wearing the shirts before the game, but you never see or after the game. You never see it beforehand.
Yeah. Yep.
Now it's talking about how everyone's quiet after the 8th and 9th inning. It's dude. He is a freaking joke online.
Did you hear me talking about him last night? Someone needs to tell him no. You don't need Twitter.
To sign out. Never log back in.
You don't need Twitter. It doesn't help,
bro. This stuff it never ages well. I'll never forget the Steven Matz tweet. Remember, I'm not happy today. I'm not happy today because I didn't get to sign Steven Matz. Steven Matz would probably be our number 2 starter, by the way, right now. I'm telling you, bro. And look, I just said they took the first game against Baltimore. That was arguably, talk about you guys yesterday. I know there were a lot of Yankee fans that weren't happy about the win yesterday either. Talk about the bad win column. And what did I tell you? I said this team is the epitome of 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So as of right now, sure, yeah, they added to the win column. But what's stopping them from dropping this series still? Because what I saw 4 runs when the lights weren't as bright. I saw Soto dancing, shuffling, all that when the game was out of hand already, and they didn't have to bring in Diaz, thank God. And I saw Brazoban that's lucky as hell that he's got a win in his column now too, because he tried blowing yet another game. This is typical stuff that's going to get overlooked because they added to the win column. But, bro, it's the same old issues and the same old owner that doesn't know how to shut his damn mouth on Twitter. And this is yet the latest tweet that's probably going to age poorly. I guarantee you tomorrow it'll age poorly when they're down like 3-0 in the first with Montas tipping pitches.
Well, positive energy, positive vibes, and maybe you take the series tomorrow and then you don't even got to worry about it. Maybe the Mets just blow them out from the first couple innings. Because, yeah, Steve Cohen's got to chill. Thanks for the call, Ross. Somebody's got to get to him that he respects, that he cares about, and say, listen, you are a billionaire. You own the Mets. Twitter is only going to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? There's not one tweet that you can put out there that's going to make you any more money or I don't know, revere you anymore with the Mets fan base. It's only going to attract negativity. Twitter is a cesspool of negativity. I had a shout out to Jeff Passan. I remember talking to Jeff Passan because Jeff Passan is like strategic with his tweets. And I told him, I was like, bro, I just fire off tweets. It's not real life to me. I don't care. And he was like, tweet less. And I'm like, nah. I'm like, you tweet less. Like, you wait and do that because you're Jeff Passan. You got a huge following. I'm like, I troll, I tweet, and it doesn't matter. But like, when you're Jeff Passan or even bigger Steve Cohen, you don't need to be on Twitter. So Steve Cohen writes right after this one, and it's like, come on, bro. This team was trailing 3-1 and like walked in a run to get on the board before the 8th and 9th inning. Steve Cohen writes at 12:16 a.m., there seems to be less complaining after the team scored 7 runs in the 8th and 9th. Funny how that happens. Dude, I hope he was hacked. There's not a space between sentences. Maybe he was hacked. His last tweet before that was just KI replying, so maybe he was hacked. Somebody needs to get his phone because his tweet before that, also the third tweet under his replies was Phenomenal win tonight by the Fab Four, and that was a few days ago, that first win, 7-6 in extras against the Orioles, where you were like, oh, they're the Fab Four now? Steve, get off Twitter. Wasn't his wife on Twitter? And then she talked about how she was getting too many DMs, and you guys don't need to be on there. It's only bad. It's only negative. Like, I wish I was rich. I wish I was famous.
I think she's the only one who could tell him to stop tweeting. She's the only one. She did a whole thing about the Instagram DMs that she was trying to help.
With Instagram.
She was trying to help the community a ton. She does like amazing work with the community. And she's like,
people
too many
abused
people are asking me for tickets or jobs or X, Y, Z. And she's like, that's not what this is for. This is for the building community. And I can't keep the DMs open anymore. So she might be the only one to get through to him.
Yeah, social media sucks, especially if you are someone that goes on social media as your actual self. Like, this isn't a team tweeting for him, and like he's not on a burner. This is Steve Cohen reacting in real time to that game ending and being like, oh, well, what say you now? It doesn't help, bro, especially talking to your fans. Like, you're not talking to the Royals fans. You're like, seems to be less complaining after the team scored 7 runs in the 8th and 9th. Funny how that happens. I bring you a dance crew. I bring you a mascot race. I bring you the generational Juan Soto, and yet you still complain? Funny how that happens, Mets fans. Robbie's in Lenox on the Fan. What's up, Robbie? Yo, Robbie.
What?
Yo, Robbie, we're live.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Robbie?
How you doing, brother? Sorry about that.
Okay, it's almost 1 a.m. It's Friday night. It's been a long week. I'm tired myself. I can't wait to go home and go to sleep.
I had a rough weekend. My brother died in California.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, and you just made me think about someone who I have to text because they lost their mother this week. I need to send that text right now. Go on though. Let's lock in. What do you got on your mind, Robbie?
Well, 11 to nothing. Cody Bellinger got 3 home runs. I didn't see the game. He had 3 home runs tonight. Wow. Okay, so the other night I'm talking to Danielle. We're talking about third baseman. Why can't the Yankees? I know he has no trade clause, but I know he can waive it. Why can't the Yankees put together a package for Jose Ramirez? I mean, what are they screwing around for? Go out and get a guy who can play third base, who can hit, who can protect Judge in the lineup. I mean, that's to me, that's the guy. You know, I mean, I can't sell Stanton because Stanton strikes out too much. Jose Ramirez would be a guy that's a professional. Why would you want to stay in Cleveland? Honestly, that team's going nowhere. Why? Because they're 4 games out of the wild card. Big deal. The guy has a chance to be, to compete for a championship. What do you think about the idea? Who would you give up? Would you give up the young outfielder? In the minors, would you give it up? Jones?
For Jose Ramirez, yeah. But I'd consider giving up George Lombard for Jose Ramirez because Jose Ramirez is a perennial all-star, one of the best hitters in baseball. No worries about him fielding his position. And if they put him on this Yankees team for the next few years, like we're talking about like the Yankees contending in the AL for the World Series for like the next 3-4 years with Ramirez. So yeah, like Lombard in theory coming up in the next 3-4 years is one thing. Having Jose Ramirez in that infield, forget about it.
We all know that Josh now that makes this like, his prospects are the greatest things in sliced bread. So if you have to put Lombard in that package to get Ramirez going through, because the thing about Ramirez is that, I mean, obviously I have experience. He's a Gold Glove guy. And he's one of the best guys in the league. He has like a player-friendly, we talk about player-friendly content for the next 3 years. I mean, it's a perfect fit. To me, you get him or get Chapman. The thing about Chapman is that Chapman strikes out a lot. And then Chapman is a great defensive third baseman with power, but he strikes out way too much to me. So we'll see, man. But other than that, I mean, to turn this around in 5 games, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's just great. I mean, the Rodon, you trust Rodon in a big game. I know he's well for that. Do you trust him in a big game?
No, of course not. But that was a great showing from him. Thanks for the call, Robbie. That wasn't a big game, but that was a great outing. That was honestly his best showing as a Yankee when you consider, where the Yankees are coming off of last week. Like I said, the difference a week makes. The Yankees lost 5 in a row a week ago and dropped that game on, whatever. It's in the past. 888-808-1019. The trade deadline is now less than 20 days away. And you can dream big, but don't get your hopes up. That's what that's all the conversation was at Yankee Stadium pregame. Billy's, Yankee Tavern, Bodega, Dugout, Bronx Draft House, stands. Like everybody's like, so who are we getting at the deadline? Who do you think we getting? Keith, you got any inside intel? I'm like, I'm not getting my hopes up. I don't have any intel. I don't know anything. But I leaned into I think Cashman is working on it. And I don't think we've ever heard Cashman come out and be like, we're going to town. Here's what we need. And fingers crossed. But I'm not getting my hopes up because I don't want to be disappointed. I'm not locking in on one player or two players or whatever because I don't want to be disappointed. And I don't want to hear, we couldn't get a third baseman. Here comes Jaime Candelario or Nicky Lopez. Oh, well, we weren't able to find a starter, but Luis Gil's got one more rehab start and he's coming back. Like the Yankees have enough talent. Clearly, you saw it the last 5 games. Like you've seen them have so many highlights and so many players either hit or make plays on defense. You got to feel good about at least them strengthening the team in a couple spots. It's the bullpen. The biggest thing for Rodon tonight is you didn't have to tax the bullpen at all. They were able to throw Scott Efros, a former Cub, who the Yankees traded with the Cubs a couple years back to get. Scott Efros is able to come in against the Cubs. And so that means your bullpen is locked and loaded to go tomorrow, and Max Fried is going to throw 7 innings, knock on wood, but you expect him to go deep into the game, or you might win the series. You might keep rolling. That's why I said I'm going home, go to sleep, and I'm going right back to the stadium, bro. It's up. It's all the way up. This Eric Emanuel t-shirt thing, that's all people were talking about today. And if you know types, Eric Emanuel, I'm like, I guess I got to buy those shorts, but I definitely want the t-shirt. And, the t-shirt is dope because this is a designer who, makes a lot of stylish stuff. And it's funny. I want to say last year, Stroman was the first guy I ever saw wearing the Eric Emanuel Yankee shorts, but now they have some other shorts. And then the shirt they're giving out tomorrow is fresh because it's a white tee with a Yankee logo on the front, but the back says, I went to Yankee Stadium and all I got was this Eric Emanuel t-shirt. And I'm like, the hype beasts are going to be out for that. I'm like, I got to go there and try and get one of those. First 18,000 guests, I got to go and try and get one of those. 888-808-1019. Let's take another call before we get to the break. It's late enough. I think we got enough time. Tony's in Port Washington on the fan. What's up, Tony?
Hey, what's going on? I just want to hear your thoughts on Volpe's father at the game yesterday. Acting a little out of hand, a little out of pocket.
Yesterday?
Right?
Is there
the Met game the other day?
Oh, I'm like, no way. Is there another video that popped up at the Yankee game? No. So I guess it was last Saturday or Sunday at the Mets game where he got into it in kind of a shouting match and challenging a Mets fan, basically saying, F you, let's go, let's go. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah. He was saying, apparently, I guess if you sit next to a Yankees father, you can't say he's no good. Because let's all admit, Volpe is not what he's been billed as, right?
Yeah, I mean, Volpe's not having a good season. He's underperformed. He's not hitting as well as we had hoped. He's even had some struggles in the field. He's got a ton of errors. But, what you said about, if you sit next to a Yankees father, I don't think it was just sitting next to a Yankees father. He was sitting in a few rows in front of him. But when the video cuts on, we're not able to hear what provoked that. We're not able to hear what instigated that. You know what I'm saying? We're not able to hear what was said that got that reaction out of Michael Volpe. So I kind of just look at it as there's more to know, and we'll never know.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess you're right. You can't hear the whole if you don't know the whole story.
Yeah, and thanks for the call, Tony. And I've been in I don't know how many ballparks, 16 MLB ballparks. I've been to so many games. There's a lot of things said, and you never know who you're sitting with. And I think a lot of us get very cavalier and over the top with our heckling and things we say. And actually, I would love to, maybe next time I talk to Michael, off the record, get what happened, and then I won't be able to bring it to WFAN. But so many times we see these videos online, and people helicopter in and make things. I just saw a video of myself. I wasn't even trying to, somebody sent it to me there's a short on YouTube where it's WFAN Keith McPherson, and the video is fine, but it was at the Pinstripe Pride event. And I remember being so tired at that event. And this is an event where Lou Piniella is charging people $600 for a picture. Nobody ever has to pay for a picture with me. If you see me and I'm walking around, you can take a selfie with me. But the video is maybe 10 seconds. And I'm going to talk to Bald Vinny, who I've known Bald Vinny for 11 years. And in the video, it quickly just shows me where there's a kid in the video wearing a Somerset Patriots shirt. And he says, hey, Keith, can I get a pic? He takes a selfie with me. I take the picture with him. And he says, thank you. And I move on. And then I look at the comments, and the comments are like, this guy sucks. Couldn't even give you the time of day. Didn't even acknowledge you after the picture. And I'm like, this is how the internet works? The pinstripe pride event. I'm like, this is a stranger. And like, you hear me in the video say something to Vinny about, bro, I barely slept last night. I know Vinny, so I'm taking a picture with someone for free, being a nice guy in that regard. And at the pinstripe pride event, I probably took 100 selfies. And then I'm going to talk to someone, and the internet helicopters in and be like, oh, Keith sucks. This guy sucks. No, I don't. Like, I take pictures with everybody I see. I give everybody the proper time. I shake their hand. I ask their name, where they're from. Thanks. How do you know me? Radio, social media. Thank you. Appreciate you. Nice to meet you. But the internet helicopters in, and they say Keith McPherson sucks, and you can't talk about Anthony Volpe in front of Anthony Volpe's dad. Like, come on. Like, I've been around Michael Volpe, and what I had said about it is he was defending his family in front of the women in his family. What people don't realize, like, that's his daughter holding him back. That's his mother-in-law behind him. That's his wife behind him. And I'm sure he probably was sitting there, and this guy that tried to sing his way out of that altercation and trying to stand beside her and guide her, he probably was wearing Anthony out and probably was really disrespectful to the point where, like, how could you hold your tongue? I'm a father. I've got a young one at home. If my son becomes I don't care if it's Little League, like, you're not about to get that off with me sitting there. I'm not sitting quietly while you just say anything about my seed, anything about my family. I'm like, nah, no way, bro. So I think some of y'all got the wrong idea from that video, but like, that's the internet. That's the internet. People that weren't there, right? 1,000 comments on the internet about what happened. You weren't there. You don't know what happened. All right. We'll see what happens in the next hour. This is my last hour on the Fan tonight. Keith McPherson, another KM to AM to close the week. 888-808-1019. When we come back, we'll get some sound from the Mets post-game, hearing from the players and manager Carlos Mendoza. Maybe we'll also play some of the Ricky Ricardo home run calls and Judge catch calls, and we'll wrap things up with more of your calls right here on the Fan.
Paying all those streaming services and getting your meals from a vending machine? BT and Sal ain't charging. Hang with your boys for lunch.
All right, cool. Yo, I'm lacking on the chat. I'm so tired. Appreciate y'all pulling up, man. We're about to hit 1,000 in the chat. Let me hit retweet, and I bet I get us to 1,000.
Good morning at 1 a.m. I'm Jen Williams. This report is being brought to you by Police Officers Right to Sue.com. Now, ahead of the Yankees hosting the Cubs in the Bronx, Carlos Rodon was added to the American League All-Star squad. It's his third All-Star nod. Now, the lefty carried those good vibes for his Game 1 start, lasting 8 dominant innings for the 5th time in his career while striking out 8. The Yankees offense did the rest. Cody Bellinger cracked 3 bombs against his former club as the Yankees crushed the Cubs 11-0. Here's Yankees captain Aaron Judge on what he's learned from Belly. That was courtesy of the Yes Network. After a rain delay in Kansas City, the Mets came from behind to beat the Royals 8-3, thanks to Mark Vientos hitting a go-ahead 3-run double to center. Here's Vientos on how he stays confident. That clip was courtesy of SNY. Kodai Senga was back on the mound. He allowed 4 hits, walked 2, and struck out 4 through 4 innings of work. I'm Jen Williams.
Who needs a house out in Hackensack? Damn. did the good folks at Hackensack dirty with that bar. Keith McPherson on the Fan, yo. Bringing it home inside the 1 a.m. hour on the Fan in New York. I see Mitchell and Fort Lee on my screen right now as they show that that Judge home run robbery. The kid almost knocked out a Judge's hand. 888-808-1009. And my video's taking off. I need to do more content, but I'd be too tired. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. This nighttime stuff. And then having a terrible 2-year-old at home. I don't have enough time to do enough social media, but I got one today. The video that I put out sitting in Mitchell and Fort Lee's seats with the last out of Carlos Rodon's outing, that Judge made the sliding catch, is doing numbers out there. I don't know what's doing on TikTok. I don't know what's doing on Instagram, but on Twitter, it's got 43,000 views in the last 3 hours. So keep running it up. Elon does pay me for that. Elon will send me a little bit of a check for that. Go right to the diaper fund. All right, let's go right to some of the Mets post-game audio. I have Yankee fans on the line. I'm blessed. I always have Yankee fans on the line, so much so I leave and I'm barely able to get my calls cleared. But I'm also blessed because the Met fan don't want to talk to me. I'm also blessed because I get to say whatever I want about the Mets, Steve Cohen, and I'll talk to Pete Kennedy about the Mets game. So Pete, tell us what we've got queued up from the post game with Carlos Mendoza, with Mark Vientos, coming off of what I think is a big win. But the only Met fan that called me tonight, Ross in Bergen County, was like, "Nah, it's not a good win."
A win's a win, first and foremost. I'll just throw my little 2 cents. But we got Carlos Mendoza talking, of course, about the big shot of the night, Mark Vientos. Let's start it up.
He's been hitting the ball hard, but a lot of on the ground, But for him to come through right there against a pretty good arm on Steves, where we were at in the game, down 2, bases loaded, they get beat, and for Mark to get that big one right there, it was huge for us.
Okay. And like I said, with Mark Vientos, man, he needs some confidence. He needs a boost. He needs to see himself go up there in the clutch, bases loaded, hit a bases clearing double, do his job to be like, yeah, I am Swaggy V. I am like that. I'm still the guy that you saw in the postseason last year. I'm here. What else we got?
More Vientos talk, of course.
He was 2 strike, right? He didn't chase, first pitch, took it, breaking ball. He fought that at bat.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's got to have that type of approach. I know he's a young guy, but, when you watch Pete Alonso strike out, when you see Soto work a walk, it's on you. Swing the bat, get it done. He did. What else we got?
Now talking more big picture about Vientos' struggles, as have been well noted on this station and everywhere.
Yeah.
Comes here last year, has a hell of a year, and he's a big part of this team all the way to the playoff. And then not having the type of season he anticipated it. But that's part of being a big league player. You have to go through the ups and downs. You have to find a way to keep fighting, and he's done that.
Good. Steady Mendy, picking up his young guy, and a good win, because if you want to say it's all they came back or whatever, like Ross said, and I understand, Ross is a young Mets fan that has had his fair share of Frank the Tank feelings, and I felt like that was a Frank the Tank one. Frank the Tank probably did even enjoy that win. But you enjoy it because it came at the hands of Mark Vientos, and then even having your Fab Four of Lindor and Soto come through and homer at the end to kind of ensure that one is good. 888-808-1019. We'll get to some Ricky Ricardo calls. Like I said, we'll queue up some of the home run calls from Belly and some of the defensive plays from Aaron Judge. Shout to Ricky, shout to Emmanuel, who will be on the call this weekend with Dave down in Atlanta. And I think Susan might be down in Atlanta too. But like I said, we've got a lot of talent. We've got some pros in here, and a great night for Ricky Ricardo to step onto the other side, not the Yankees baseball Espanol call, but to come on WFAN and call a Yankee game that the stadium was rocking, the vibes were immaculate, and the Yankees win streak continues. Will is in Lodi next up on the Fan. What's up, Will?
What's up, Keith? Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
I want to show some love to Ricky. I'm a younger Yankee fan. I'm only 42 years old, but I've been listening to Yankee games forever. I prefer to listen versus watching on TV. I used to go up to the stadium with my boys in the 90s and just sit in the old parking lots and listen to the games on the radio, just hanging out. When Ricky calls a game, it's not like you're just listening or hearing it. He's actually making you feel it, like John Sterling used to do. And it keeps me very engaged in the game, and I really miss that from him. So shout out to Ricky. He did a great job tonight. Hopefully if Susan steps down, he could fill in the shoes because I really enjoyed him. Second point.
Susan is the color. Ricky is a play-by-play guy. So it would be, like Ricky, if Dave ends up being one and done, or Dave only does a year or two, like I think Ricky would be right in line. He was already in line last year, but like I always remind people, Ricky does the Spanish call, and he's very good at the Spanish call. And if you follow Yankees baseball, the Spanish account on Twitter, you get to see some of that. So it's great. I think, anybody that hears Ricky, what I always say is he's bombastic. And if you guys ever got to like actually hang out with Ricky and hear some of his stories and some of the stuff, like when you're watching or when you're listening to him call a game, you're hanging out with Ricky watching a baseball game in a sense.
Yeah, he definitely makes you feel it. And real quick, as far as third basemen for the Yankees, what do you think it would take to get the kid from Cincinnati, Novelli Marte? I know he's been injured, but that kid could play.
I mean, we've done business with the Reds recently with the Fernando Cruz Trevino trade, but the Reds are probably thinking that they're still in it. They are only 4 games out of the wild card spot. I don't know if they're going to be selling off, and that's the conundrum we're in with this deadline in less than 20 days and the season being where it is. Like, there's so many teams that are going to be like, well, we can't trade our good players because we need them to win, or we can't trade our good players, or our fans are going to stop coming to the ballpark. They're going to think we're giving up.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And so I think that's why
Markel Garcia would be another guy to target, but since he has an all-star appearance. It's going to cost a lot to get him now.
Yeah, maybe. Sometimes Cashman finesses these guys. Cody Poteet got traded for Cody Bellinger, and we're watching Cody Bellinger have a 3-homer game, almost 4-homer game. It's like all it took was Cody Poteet. Thanks for the call, Will. 888-808-1019. Like the Colorado Rockies are a team. They're in last place. So Ryan McMahon. The Pittsburgh Pirates are a little bit ahead of them. And so Key Brian Hayes, his name pops up. The Diamondbacks are kind of in the middle of the pack. They're about 6 games out of the wild card spot. And so people think like if they stumble a bit the rest of this month, Eugenio Suarez, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, those guys are going to be on the trading block. I don't know. In Cash, we trust. We don't have any choice but to trust that Cashman is going to do what he said he's going to do. He said he's going to town, and he listed his shopping list. He said he's going to town, and he put everybody on notice. Hey, we need a starter. We need some relievers. We need an infielder. So fingers crossed that he's able to get that shopping list done. Dominic is in Connecticut next on the fan. What's up, Dom?
What's up, my man? Thanks for taking the call. This whole trade deadline thing, it makes me crazy, right? I mean, a longtime Yankee fan. I used to go to all the games in the 70s. I grew up in the Bronx. I live in Connecticut now. And it's like we wait until the last minute. There's a deadline. I get it. Why do we have to wait till the last minute all the time? If you have somebody you want, go get it. Listen, George and even Hank would never allow this, right? You know it, and I know it, that we are not winning the World Series unless we get some more bullpen help. We got to get a third baseman. It's just not going to happen. I just don't understand why we always have to wait to a deadline for something. If you got somebody, give an offer. You got to give a little to get a little, right? You know that.
Yeah, of course. I say it all the time. Stay with me here. I think it's Cashman's strategy. I think Cashman tries to squeeze these guys and use the clock against them. Like, hey, time's running out. 4 hours left. You going to do this or not? We doing this or not? I don't know. I'll call you back. Like, hey, 2 hours left.
Yeah.
We got the deal on the table. So, like, send it through. Like, I think it's a Cashman tactic because he's got the upper hand. He's been doing this a lot longer than these other GMs. He's representing the New York Yankees. I think like Cashman likes to do the buzzer beaters. He likes to wait to that day. And, it's the market. Like, bro, like Devers being traded when Devers was traded. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, but now we're starting to see.
There was a lot more going on at Beantown with him. We know that. He's
absolutely. But that was so early. And like it wasn't even like they were trading him for what the return was. They were trading him to get him up out of there.
Yeah, they were. 100%. What you just said reminded me of the Kevin Costner movie with when he was it Bully Ball? At the last minute. That's kind of what Cashman does.
Yeah.
Listen, people taking shots at Cashman. He's gotten us players. Like you just mentioned the whole Bellinger thing, man. I love hearing people talk about wanting to be a Yankee and being here and loving being a Yankee. And there's nothing better than that. The pride is amazing. I tried to do a couple games here from Connecticut. I was down there for the Juneteenth game. Went with I work in a school. Went with the principal, and we went down there, and it's just nothing like being on River Ave, going to eat some Spanish food a couple blocks away. You just can't beat it.
I know. I've done it for a decade. Thanks for the call, Dom. 888-808-1019. I mean, he got you Jazz Chisholm, right? And that trade was made a couple weeks before the deadline last year. And when they got Jazz last year, it was like a boost. It was like an immediate impact, like energy in the clubhouse. You get Jazz, and you got this stylish, eccentric, swaggy type of player in the clubhouse. Like, how could you not? How could guys not, step their game up? How could guys not feel some type of way? I was looking at Judge tonight. I'm like, oh, okay. So Judge didn't have a big night at the plate, but if you guys noticed, Judge had the like seafoam green Lady Liberty sleeve, elbow guard, gloves, and I'm like, Judge is rocking the bright colors now, because Jazz comes in with all these different. Jazz had the Bahamas cleats to tribute to like Bohemian Independence Day 2 nights ago, and they're both Jordan guys. So like, if Jordan is hooking up Jazz with all this stuff, Judge is probably like, hey, what's up? What about me? Where's mine? Hey, here you go, Judgy. Like, actually, like you guys remember, Judge came out with like the pink bubblegum cleats and had that look. I don't like that look, but the seafoam green Lady Liberty look is awesome for anybody in New York. Like even when Brunson wears those Lady Liberty Kobe's that he wears, it fits. It just works. Even though Lady Liberty's over there in Jersey City. I know because that's where I stay. I know. I used to live. I could walk to Liberty State Park and the Statue of Liberty. I always just see so many people going like, it's such a long day and thing to like go there, get on the ferry, go. And then when you get over there, you can't just leave when you want to leave. You got to wait till they bring the ferry back and they go like, I've gone there like 3 times in life. I don't know if I need to go again. Have you been to the Statue of Liberty?
Born and raised in Staten Island, live in Jersey City currently. I've never been to the Statue of Liberty. I've seen it 9 million times, so I drive past it every day.
But that's hilarious.
Take the ferry, never been there.
You live in, you're born and raised in Staten Island. You live in Jersey City now, never been over there. But like people come to New York and they got to go to the Statue of Liberty. They bring teams to New York, and that's something that you see, like they brought the team to the Statue of Liberty. There are field trips where they bring kids to the Statue of Liberty. It's such a touristy thing. And what I always think about it is like the thought and idea is better than the actual thing. Like you can't get the picture that you think you're going to get. It's massive. When you go there, you're underneath it and you're trying to get the selfie and like, it's like you can't get the picture it's not like you can go climb up and sit on Lady Liberty and take a picture. So I don't know.
You're better off actually taking the Staten Island ferry for free. Get yourself a tall boy, take a picture from the deck outside,
yeah,
and then you're good.
You know, the touristy things in New York. I've never been to the Empire State Building. Never done that. Now people go to that like edge thing where you can see like that's too high up. I don't need to go up there. What else is touristy in New York? Everybody's been to Central Park. I've been to the Met, Freedom Tower.
What was that thing in Hudson Yards? It looks like a honeycomb or something like that. The Vessel.
The Vessel.
Is that it? That's
yeah,
new.
Hudson Yards, the Vessel. I've been there. I mean, that place is sick. The whole area is awesome. It's nice. And shout out to VaynerMedia, Gary V, Tyler, Zach, those guys over there. I was invited into the building at Hudson Yards to go to where like Fanatics and Gary V's office is, and it's nice. It's like their view is amazing. The view of the city from Gary V's office where he goes live, it's a movie. And I was like, I don't get nervous, but like Gary V is someone that I've looked up to, that I literally 7 years ago was like waking up and applying to jobs and like reaching out to people, watching his YouTube channel, and like he was like motivating me. So when I actually met him and was in his, I'm like, this is crazy, bro. And the view that he has of the city, it's like the glass is there, and it's almost like you're just sitting up like above the buildings in his office. I'm like, the money and the power and the status that some people have in New York is ridiculous. Like we are in a place where there are billionaires and millionaires and super famous people, and you're just a couple degrees of separation away from them, a hop, skip, and a jump away from them. Like New York is such a wild place. I think sometimes we take it for granted. Like I'm talking about going to the Statue of Liberty. I'm talking about going to the Empire State Building. Like people come here and like that's like bucket list. That's like a life bucket list thing for them.
One of the things that we didn't mention that I think is absolutely worth it as a tourist spot is the Comedy Cellar.
I've never been there.
Oh, worth it.
I think Craig Carton did some stuff at the Comedy Cellar. Maybe,
most likely, yeah.
Didn't they do, or maybe it was somewhere else.
I met a Brit at the pub, and he was here for a few days. He's like, what do I do that's like touristy but not super touristy? I'm like, go to the Comedy Cellar. It's like you've seen a million stand-up sets there. Like the wall is famous.
Yeah.
And it'll slap every time.
That's what I was just about to say. And like every famous or popular comedian has had to go through there in New York and do a set and like cut their teeth or like whatever. Like New York is wild, bro. It is wild. But we take it for granted. We take it for granted. Like, man, I met these girls on the train that were from Paris, and it was funny. I met them the week that the Yankees were in LA, but we did an event in Brooklyn, and I had on full-on Yankee gear. And I'm talking to these girls, and they were in town for the week, and they were going to the Yankee game when the Yankees came back. I forget who the Yankees were playing. But like the Yankee Stadium is a tourist thing. And I talk about that all the time, how every night in Yankee Stadium is somebody's first time. Every night in Yankee Stadium, there's somebody that's not American from another country there. It is one of those destinations. Going back to last year, when I was talking about Jazz arrived in that Boston Red Sox series. So Cashman didn't wait for the buzzer then. He knew they wanted Agustin Ramirez. All right, here you go. And Jazz showed up, and did he play in that first game that Friday? I remember I was like just moving into the apartment that I'm in now. And yeah, I don't think he played in that first game. He played in that second game. He played center field. But yes, the Yankees lost that game. But then the Yankees went on to win 1, 2, 3, 4. That remember the Philly series? Remember he hit a homer with Judge's bat? The team was different as soon as Jazz's energy was with the team. Can they do that? Can they come out of the All-Star break, trade for a player early, and then like I just already see the difference in them getting rid of DJ. And I hate to say it like that, but like I immediately saw the team respond to, hey, we're done with the charade. What I call pissing on your head and telling you it's raining. Like we're done pissing on everybody's head and telling them it's raining, running DJ LeMahieu out there like he's not costing us pitches and runs and outs and at second base. Like we don't have Jazz Chisholm, who is like super quick and athletic and has got the hands to go get every ball and then make the throw. And as soon as they did that this week, they haven't lost since. As soon as they did that, they're 6-0. As soon as they did that, it's like everything else materializes. Cam Schlittler comes through and he has his debut. And I talked about that this week, how important it is for these veteran players to see a young guy make his debut. You're just going to work when you're Judge, when you're Stanton, when you're Goldschmidt. You've done this hundreds of times when you're a veteran. But you see a kid come in there for the first time, making his debut. You look up, you see his family with signs, and you realize like this is somebody living the dream. And I think it makes everybody better. It raises everybody's awareness. Your senses are heightened, and it's like, come on, let's play, let's compete. That's what I was so pumped about tonight. This is a first place team coming into the building. The Cubs, I think, are they're. If I go to Fangraphs, which I don't go to Fangraphs because I tell you, I'm not a baseball nerd. I love the game, but I'm not a nerd like that. Like I'm not in the weeds. And props to you nerds that are. But like you and I are different kind of baseball fans. Like I can go to Yankee Stadium. I'll show you how to run it up, have a good time, where to get a drink at, where to kick it at, where some of the OGs are, stuff like that. Like I'm not on the phone looking at BABIP and ex-WOBA and weighted runs created plus. But when I do go to Fangraphs, I used to do it more when I was doing some stuff for Bleacher Report. Let's just go to Fangraphs and look at teams and go to 2025 team batting. And I guarantee you the Cubs are up here. Oh, would you look at that? Number 1, the Chicago Cubs. Just go to Fangraphs and on that top bar, click on teams, drop down and go to batting stats 2025. Click on 2025. That is the year and season we're in. And as you scroll down and they collect, I don't know, 15 different stats here, as I jokingly, mentioned BABIP and ex-WOBA and weighted runs created plus. That's all there. The Chicago Cubs are above the New York Yankees. They're the number 1 team as far as hitting. And they gave up nada today. They gave up nothing today. And then, like, Cody Bellinger, who used to play for them, went crazy. And, like, not even just him. I said, it's a good night when Volpe is driving in runs, when Peraza is getting hits, when guys like Goldie are having, and not to knock Goldie because he's great, but like Goldie had kind of came down to earth a little bit. He's going right back up there now. He's trying to get his average over 300 again. He had 3 hits. Ben Rice had 2 hits. Jazz worked 2 walks and had a knock. It was just an all-around good night for the Yankees. It's a good night for New York baseball, man. We struggled in these last few weeks. We struggled watching these teams. The shows are a struggle. I know for some of y'all listening throughout the day, it's a struggle because it's like, all right, there's nothing to talk about. I know I was saying it feels like we're talking about the Jets and Giants all day with how much we were complaining about every single thing with the Yankees and Mets. But it seems like the Yankees are completely out of it. And with the win tonight from the Mets, you got to look at the positive, which I think there's way more positive than negative. Kodai Senga comes back, right? You're down in that game, but you rally again. The quote-unquote make it happen Mets impose their will. Losers let it happen. Winners make it happen. Like, you let it happen to you that first game against the Orioles 2 days ago now. You let it happen to you in the second game. They loaded the bases. Vientos comes through, and I think you got to be happy about Vientos getting some confidence. And then you got to also be happy, too, about Lindor and Soto driving in homers. maybe tomorrow they're able to do that in their first or second at bats. Let's take some more calls. John is in Brooklyn on the Fan next. What's up, John?
It's Positive Johnny.
Positive Johnny, how you feeling?
Thanks for your shout out to the Mets. The guy's complaining about the Mets, like coming back, scoring 7 runs in the last 2 innings. I mean, what's the complaint about?
There's nothing to complain about. You can poke holes into it if you want, but it just like a win is a win, and you needed a win. Would you have rather lost that game 3-1?
Oh, God, I was sick to my stomach when Vientos was up, and finally he came through.
Right? Like when Alonso struck out again and broke the bat over his leg, it was looking like, all right, Vientos is not going to get it done.
I also, you mentioned that you're going to the Bronx to see the Yankees for 10 years.
10 years consistently, yeah.
I've been going to see the Mets since 1964.
Yeah, you got some time on me. And I'm from the shore area where, like, nobody brought me to games, and I always remember looking at tickets and being like, it's too expensive and it's too far. But, like, since I've been up here working and living in the city, I've been going to Yankee Stadium consistently since 2015. I
used to go to both Jay and Yankee when I was a kid because I had uncles that had tickets to Yankees.
Where are you from?
The old Yankee Stadium.
Are you from Brooklyn? Did you grow up in Brooklyn? Yeah. So I mean, you guys that grew up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I envy the kids that grew up in the city that could just get on the train if you got a free ticket.
Yeah.
Or a cheap ticket.
Oh yeah.
Like you're not.
Oh yeah.
I had to get on NJ Transit and then get on the subway.
Oh wow.
Like, you were able to just get on the subway train, and a lot of times you could just jump the train and go for free.
Absolutely.
There's no jumping the NJ Transit. You got to pay for that every time.
That's classic. I enjoy your repertoire, your repertoire, whatever it's called. But hang in there, man. It's not even the All-Star break yet.
Yeah, you're right. We're not there. We still got a couple more games. Thanks for the call, John. I don't know. My repertoire? What would you call that? Like what I bring to the table, what my show is? I enjoy your, I don't know, presentation. I just enjoy your show. Oh, man. I don't know, man. It's funny. Someone was like, I met this kid tonight. I can't remember his name. He's from Westchester, though. He might be listening now. And he's like, so how's the show going? I'm like, I don't know. I don't listen to it. He's like, yeah, but you talk it. Like, it's your voice. Like, how's it going for you? I'm like, oh, it's going fine for me. I don't know how it's going. Like, I don't know. It depends who you ask. It's the radio. It's subjective. It's the radio. Like, there's some fans of the Yankees that probably are like, yo, that's my guy. There are other fans of the Yankees that can't stand that guy. There are definitely some fans of the Mets that I know because I read this up. They're like, this guy sucks. This guy, I hate this guy. How did this guy get on the radio? Just some guy today. It had me laughing earlier today. And I had the account muted, but I was like, okay, Spike tweeted at me. And the guy tweeted at Spike, me, and WFAN. And he's like, you know what they say? Dopes hire dopes. Dopes hire dopes. And you're a dope and you were hired by a dope. And Spike just responded to him. He's like, no one says that. That's not a thing. No one says dopes hire dopes. I never heard that before. I saw someone earlier on Twitter like, McPherson, Morash, and Loogie, how'd they get hired? And I'm like, hey, leave me. Don't loop me in. Like, I didn't come through the same way as Morash and Loogie at all. If you really do want to blame Spike for my existence here. If you really want to if you want to do that and say, why is this guy on the radio? It's Spike's fault. But I think I earned it. Every day I'm earning it. That's the whole thing here, right? I think I've gotten better than I was when I started. You know, I could have called out. I could have just been like, man, I'm about to party. I'm about to go to the stadium. I'm about to turn Billy's up. And like, I got a way of turning Billy's up, Twins up, Stands up, the whole spot up. Gallo come through, hold it down. Al Cintron come through, hold it down. Daniel McCarty come through, do your thing. I'm off. Nah, I'm here. I'm here because like the vibes are right. And I was here last week after every loss of the Blue Jays series, which was terrible. You want to be here to enjoy the victories. So let's continue to enjoy the victory. The Mets win. 8-3. And I don't know how you can poke holes into that win with Kodai Senga back and Mark Viento's finally coming through. And your all-star shortstop homering and the all-star snub homering. And you taking the first game of the series where they mocked you tonight. And they celebrated the 2015 World Series with an Eric Hosmer bobblehead. And then for the Yankee fans, like there's nothing else to say. It was an incredible night with Belly homering 3, almost 4 times. Rodon having his best showing of his early Yankee tenure. And then Judge just showing off the glove for anybody that wants to say, oh, yeah, Cal Raleigh homered 2 more times tonight. He's the MVP over Judge. Judge was like, okay, let me show y'all what I could do. I know you want to give it to a catcher because he's a catcher, but yeah, I play a plus right field here in Yankee Stadium being in front of those judges' chambers. Okay, I got a break. I'm running out of time. 888-808-1019. If you want to talk to me about the Yankees or the Mets, when I come back, I'll probably fill the rest of my time with just like random sports stuff or things that I came across on the internet that I put in my notes that I didn't speak on yet because I'm not back on until Tuesday. Tuesday, baby, Tuesday. Keep McPherson on the fan. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
You're juggling work, life, and receivers who can't catch a cold. We get it. And
Dang. Did you see that video with Mr. Met? Oh, I gotta show you this. I guess the Lumineers before. Is the way. Okay, we'll throw to some Ricky calls. I'll tell people about Mr. Met fall in, and I'll try and mix in some other random stuff. Okay. Oh, bro, I'm fucking tired, man. Oh, shit. Word. Okay, cool. And Hawk comes up after me, right? Yeah. What's the name of this one? Okay. Yeah, let's keep rocking, man. Honestly, bro, shout out to the Yankees because I know the name Billy Joel before I go into the night. I was telling you guys last night, like, yo, the Billy Joel bobblehead is going to be insane. I know there's a lot of fans, but I was not familiar with his catalog at least as far as the name. Like, I don't have. He's not playing in my playlist. He's not playing in my car. Like, I played the Clips album 4 times already. I'm like, I don't know. But like what I'm saying is shout out to the Yankees and shout out to Billy Joel, who was supposed to perform at Yankee Stadium, but he had some health complications. But a night like tonight, the Yankees honor him with that bobblehead. It brings a lot of people out, and I was able to honor him on my show tonight by playing his music coming in and out of break. So, it's something different. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And like I said, I learned. I'm like, wow, so there are so many of these songs that you just hear in movies or TV or stadiums or wherever. And it's like, oh, that's Billy Joel's song. So, the more you know, the more you know. I'm always learning things. I always tell you guys I'm not the smartest guy. I don't try to be. I don't get on the radio and act like a know-it-all. Maybe you call up and you tell me something I don't know. But like, be polite, be kind of. All right, let's wrap this thing up. I do want to play some of Ricky Ricardo's calls in case you missed it. I do want to grab some things from the internet that have happened tonight and yesterday. In whatever order, Pete, let's go back in time to Yankee Stadium, game 1 of this Cubs-Yankees series with Ricky Ricardo filling in for Dave Sims. And here's some of Ricky's chops as he calls a great Yankee win, 11-0, where Bellinger hits 3 home runs. Judge has 3 great plays in the outfield. And Carlos Rodon pitches a gem.
Flexen's pitch is swung on and hit deep to right. Back to the wall goes Tucker, and it's out of here. Into the first row. Cody Bellinger with a belly bomb against his ex-teammates.
So what I say about, I always use the word bombastic. It's almost like when Ricky is calling the game. I can't even do an impression of him. It's like the inflection in his voice with every word, man. He does such a great job of making you feel the energy, and you hear the crowd in the background. I was in the crowd. I was going crazy. Let's hear the second one. And now I did not actually realize that, like, they were kind of taking turns. I don't know if they were going inning by inning, but Emmanuel and Ricky Ricardo were kind of, switching off. And shout out to Emmanuel. Can I kind of put Emmanuel over a bit? Emmanuel is so young in this game. He's got a hell of a future in front of him. For those of you that have gotten to hear him in the last 2 years, remember what you're hearing from him now, because when he's doing this 10, 20 years from now, he's going to be one of the best in the business. He's smart. He's well-researched. He comes out of the Fordham pipeline. He's the nicest kid and a friend of mine, and that's why I have no problem putting him over. And I always got his back. I always shout him out. And what I also say about him is he's done everything in here. He's hosted shows in here. He's produced my show in here. He's cut tape. He's done everything. Like, he's the type of kid that has come in, put his head down, and worked. And now he's reaping the benefits of it. And I'm so proud of him and happy for him to get to call Yankee games. And so this is the next call from Emmanuel Barbari.
1-0. Driven into deep right field. Bellinger's got two. Way back and goodbye. Cody Bellinger crushing his former team.
Yeah, Emmanuel is 25, maybe just turned 26. Like, do you understand? Like, in the game, like, to be in the game that young, calling the Yankee games, working at the, like, I don't know. I'm just saying, man. I think the kid's got a bright future ahead of him. He's also done some, like, college basketball. Yeah. So shout out to Emmanuel Barbari. The next one goes back to Ricky Ricardo, and let's hear Ricky call the third belly bomb.
Bellinger hits one deep to right center. Back at the wall is Tucker. Did he get it? Oh, no. Did he get it? Who got it? No, that ball went over the wall. There we go. There's another belly bomb.
Well done. Now, do we have any cuts of Judge and Judge's, web gems, his Sports Center top 10 diving grabs and home run robberies? All right, cue them up. Just run them.
Payoff pitch. Swung on and hit in the air to right. Judge running over near the line makes a dive and makes the catch. Another great catch by the captain. Oh, baby, what a night with the glove for Aaron Judge.
Okay, that's the first one. We got another two, right?
That's on me. I was out of order. That was the 8th inning one. But
okay.
I do have
go backwards. Yeah, it's okay.
Pitch is hit deep to right. Into the corner goes Judge. Back at the wall. The captain leaps. And did he make the catch? Oh, Aaron Judge just made one heck of a play right up against the wall.
And last but not least, the first diving one, right?
Swanson hits one to right. Judge coming on and makes another catch. This time right above the ground, coming in and going forward, and another tremendous play by Judge. How about that?
Yo, remember Judge breaking his first rib, like diving to make a catch, I think against the Angels back in 20... I remember now. Remember, like, Judge, I think it had to be like 2019. Maybe 2019 going into 2020. That's why we're always so nervous with him diving and making plays like that, but he's not. Shout out to the Angels. The Angels and Travis d'Arnaud with a walk-off winner. So on that side of Anaheim, they're feeling good. But you know what? Baseball is baseballing. And if it could happen to the Yankees and if it could happen to the Mets, it could happen on the other side of LA. The Dodgers have lost 7 in a row. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to clap. I don't wish them any luck. I don't wish them to prosper. And I like baseball being baseball, where it's like, hey, the almighty Dodgers, who are already written in as the 2025 World Series champions, they got some injuries too. They've hit a rough patch too. It happens. And they, I know for a fact, have fans that are tweaking too. I know they have some Dodgers fans that are out there like, yo, what the hell is going on? Fire Dave Roberts. See, we told anybody could have managed his team to the World Series last year. This guy ain't it. 888-808-1019. Here's something that came across my desk. Hopefully, Mr. Met is feeling okay. There is a video from the Lumineers concert tonight, which I guess, and I said to Pete, I'm like, where are the Lumineers playing in Citi Field? I think they are. So Mr. Met comes out on stage to perform with them, and he took a spill. And I don't know who actually is in Mr. Met's costume, but I was watching this with Pete. I'm like, yo, that's a deep fall. And whoever is in the costume trying to, he catches, they try to throw Mr. Met a tambourine. So that throws him off. This stuff is nerve wracking. I'm having secondhand embarrassment for whoever it is that has to wear this big ass Mr. Met costume with the head and these hands. And then he's wearing suspenders. They try to throw him a tambourine. He drops it, but then he tries to play it off and walk it off. And he walks off the stage and falls off the stage. And then he tries to pick himself up quickly and get back and shake it off yeah, I'm good. I would have stayed down. They can't see you anyway, bro. I would have just stayed down.
Now, if Mr. Met shows up to the next home game after the All-Star break and a sling, and it's
Mr. Met is going on the IL.
Yeah, he's on the IL.
They're bringing somebody else in from Syracuse or something. They're bringing in somebody else. This guy needs to ice up. That's why I say he should have stayed down. They should have had the medical team check on him because he takes his right foot and then his knee hits the stage and he's just on the ground. Not great. Not great. I'm trying to see if there's anything else from that because that's a serious looking fall. That stage was pretty high. All right. Anyway, I think I told you about Ronald Acuna being replaced by Matt Olson in the home run derby. And I just think they really don't want to put Juan Soto in. There's all these other alternates. So Randy Arozarena is in now for Julio Rodriguez. And it seems like players are pulling out of this. Jose Ramirez is not going to compete, and Isai Paredes is going to go in his place. But Jose Ramirez played in 3 straight games and homered in 3 straight games this week. But I guess guys just don't want to play in this All-Star game. It's not for anything. And I don't know. It's not that you risk injury, but it's you're not playing for anything. They're out there playing for. There's no stakes. You win that. I think the American League has the advantage, but it doesn't give you home field advantage. So I guess guys don't care anymore. I feel like when I was younger, the All-Star game was a thing. All-Star, well, obviously because it did have some stakes to it with who would, host more World Series games. But now it's whatever. I know when I went out there last, I didn't even stay for the All-Star game. I had the choice. I was like, you want to stay? I'm like, nah. I ended up flying back to Newark and landing and starting a game on my iPhone. It's not a game that you have to go see. I remember watching the one that Stanton won the MVP, and I think the American League won 3-2, and it was whack. It was so boring. What else went on? Oh, and the White Sox in the South Side, shout out to my boy Mike. He was showing me they put up a statue for Mark Burley, and it says well-deserved. And I'm like the Yankees don't do statues. It took the Mets a while to, put the Tom Seaver statue up. But the White Sox put up a Mark Burley statue. I guess. I guess.
They won a ring with him, no?
Yeah.
Cy Young? Who else they got? The Big Hurt? That's it.
Yeah, but it's a statue immortalizes you in a way. It just immortalizes you in a way. I don't know. He's a 5-time All-Star, World Series winner with them. I guess because they're down and they've been so trash. They need stuff like that. What other statue? We saw the Dwayne Wade statue, which he didn't even. He looked like handsome Squidward, or he looked like. Yeah, I don't know who they tried to make Dwayne Wade look like. the AI statue in Philly at their like workout complex was like the size of an action figure.
The Dirk one might be one of my favorites, though.
Well, the Dirk one, I
Fadeaway,
get.
that's fire.
The Dirk one is dope, and I get that. I get that for Dallas. Did you get to watch Cooper Flag versus Bronny in the Summer League?
Oh, the matchup we've all been waiting for?
What a joke.
All my friends who are not huge NBA fans like really give me the business because I'm a diehard NBA guy.
Yeah.
So they all send me that graphic. Like, oh, yeah, Pete, this is cinema, right? Like, you can't wait for this?
Well, I mean,
if I was free, I would have watched.
I watched some of the highlights, but it's just like, man, they're going to keep forcing Bronny James on us. But what we're in, and I've been telling people this online, and I'll say it again on air, we are in a time where the digital world, the social media world impacts our real world. The lines are being blurred. Cooper Flag versus Bronny James is no contest. The number one pick, but it's going to be billed because of the amount of followers and the name that Bronny James has. Also, I saw Angel Reese got the cover of NBA 2K. Now, obviously, people have been pitting Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark against each other since LSU Iowa in the championship now 3 years ago. But if we're looking for a cover athlete for WNBA 2K, and was Caitlin Clark on it last year?
They can't afford her, bro.
I don't think it works like
I'm
that.
just kidding.
I don't know. I think it's like, I don't think it works like that. I don't think it's a pay thing. I think it's like you're chosen, you come do this.
Well, they got Melo on the Legends cover this year, too.
Like, I'm trying to look up past WNBA 2K covers. RG3 got in a lot of trouble for reposting a terrible picture that somebody put out. But like when I saw Angel Reese got the cover, it goes back to what I'm saying about the digital world being our real world now. She's on the cover that represents the entire WNBA. Is she a top 5, 10, 15, maybe top 20 player in the WNBA? Maybe she cracks the top 20? I don't know. That's even questionable.
I'm not going to pretend like an expert on the W here, but I am a proud owner of a WNBA fantasy team. And she's obviously rostered. She gets the boards and she got up stats, but I think she might be 20th-ish, 25.
I am not. I have never watched a full WNBA game. I have not gone to a game ever, but I am on the internet enough and watch ESPN enough that there are enough of these girls that I know that like Angel Reese is not a top. Okay, here we go. ESPN ranking the top 25 WNBA players for the 2025 preseason. Number 1, Aja Wilson, multiple-time champion, Las Vegas Aces. She's got her own shoe. Has she been on the cover?
And that shoe sold out instantly, by the way.
Of course. Number 2, Nafisa Collier. I'm not familiar with her. Number 3, Breanna Stewart. Of course, everybody knows Stu. Stewie plays for the Liberty, multiple-time MVP champion. Number 4, Caitlin Clark. So what I'm getting at here is I think some people were upset because Angel Reese has beaten Caitlin Clark to the cover. Was Caitlin Clark not on it last year? She probably wasn't on it last year because they weren't going to put a rookie on it. People probably feel some type of way. But now people feel some type of way that Angel Reese is gracing the cover before Caitlin Clark, and they're like, come on, bro. She's not half the player Caitlin is. But what it is she does have the motion online. She does have the followers. She does have the community. She does have the like influencer marketing and the respect and all that. And she's had it for a minute. I'm watching the Money Game where they go through all of the LSU NIL money. Jaden Daniels, Livy Dunn, and Angel Reese. And this girl's got millions of followers and she's made millions of dollars off of just being this like they had this scene with her where she goes to Dick's Sporting Goods and she's got her own line of clothes when she was in college at Dick's Sporting Goods based off of a term that somebody told her mom in the crowd at LSU, right? Down there in Baton Rouge. She's from Baltimore, went to Maryland, I believe, transferred to LSU. And supposedly her mom was in the crowd and someone said, we love your daughter down here. We call her Bayou Barbie. There's my Southern accent. And so they copyrighted Bayou Barbie and then made clothes and sold them with it. Like she's got hella motion. Like, and what I mean by motion is like she's got followers. Like She's got a community of people that support. Where why do you put her on the cover over Caitlin Clark? They're playing off of that. And I know Caitlin Clark has followers, but like, I don't know if she's as active online in the way that Angel Reese and her team is. And that's all I've got, man. That's all my time, man. In the chat, they said, hey, Angel Reese put herself out there and she's more popular on social media. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for everybody watching. We got up to 1260 on the live stream. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the, as I'm talking about the digital world and the online community that I even have. It's sick. It's just like, I appreciate y'all, for real. People that listen to the show, people that watch the show, people that care. Even people that hate, listen, and think I'm whack or whatever, appreciate you too. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Pete Hoff is coming up next. Get that Mets conversation going. And yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday night. Good night.
Sports Radio 101.9 FM.
All right, Chad, I'm going home. I'm so tired by this point. I'm shout out. Appreciate y'all, man. Hit like, and we'll do this again on Tuesday. I'm off on Monday. I gotta take care of my kid. Bye.